All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report, brought to you by Snortbucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company. And don't ever doubt that. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Continuing on with our with February, our February campaign, if you will, because it's such a great battle that I'm waging here. There's going to be 5 videos that make up our broadcast, all brought to us by Burnell. So at least we have help. Let's see. That's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Same ebb and flow. No chewing the fat with GTG at the moment, unless something comes up that I feel that's worth speaking on, which I don't really have anything at the moment. And let's just try to continue pace and so on and so forth. Hopefully you guys are all doing well, and so on and so forth. And that's that. I won't hold you guys up any longer, and let's just go ahead and get into the situation. And hopefully we can help you either start your day, end your day, or make it through your day in some way, shape, or form. Every little bit helps, right? I'll see you guys in just a second.
Play the game!
Warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Earlier today, I received 3 chargebacks. It was 2 during the live stream, and then during the break, I got another one. So earlier today...
boy, it's already exciting to start it off. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the first video that will make up our broadcast. Brought to us by Burnell, DSP. Let's see, first video. $99 in chargebacks. Perfect aim Burnell and his exploding Gout in COD, or Call of Duty. And let's see, $115 in tips. So at least he recouped some of the money. This was published on February 4th of 2021, our year of Greece. The link will be down in the description. Here we go. Oh boy.
I made $100 in tips. We hit the tips goal. Out of that, I have $9 left in my account because it was all taken away because of chargebacks. The good news is, all these chargebacks are ancient. This chargeback was actually one from September that I had disputed in, like, December. And finally, I guess PayPal and the credit card company stopped fighting, and they ruled in favor of the person, the customer. So, I lost that, plus 2 other chargebacks, okay? I need your help. You guys actually came out and helped me.
Okay, wait. Why is that? Why is it good news that 2 of the chargebacks or one of the chargebacks was ancient? What sense does that make? Whether it happened 2 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, or yesterday, a chargeback is still a chargeback, and you lost. The time period doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything at all, to be honest. Especially if they waited. Matter of fact, it seems like if the longer you wait on it, the better your chances are of winning. But obviously that's all situational. So what's good about that? And then more importantly, isn't the whole gimmick now that you have to be verified and he can charge back, or he can block people from even donating or tipping them, I should say? If he's taking all these supposed countermeasures, why is he still losing? It makes you wonder if some of these chargebacks are bullshit. Not all of them, but you know what I'm saying? Because I assume there are people, charging him back small amounts or whatever. But most of the people who give him large amounts of money are the usual cucks. So, and they're going to stay dedicated unless they get fucked over like DJ Runo did, for example, with what was that, Untitled Goose Game, and then obviously, you know, they should honestly retaliate and get their money back. But for everybody else, some dudes are going to come through regardless. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. And that whole thing about that the time period doesn't make a lot of sense either. But let's continue and see if anything else comes out of that.
All Stars, which by the way sucks ass. I'm never playing it again. And almost all those tips are gone because of chargebacks. Because of the criminal, basically, the same criminal who's using fake credit cards to tip me, you know, for 4 months there. So, again, I'm appealing to all of you. If you like me and you like my content and you want to really help me out in the short term, please tip me tonight. It would be nice if we could hit the tips goal tonight. At least I make something today. And it sucks about earlier today, but nothing can be done. All right? Nice.
Actually, you guys ever noticed how he's like, you know, hey, if you guys would really come through and tip me right now, or if we can really hit the sub goal, or whatever the case may be, that would really help me in the short term. Why does he never talk about, hey, this is what we, because he always frames everything as we, what we need to do in the long run? Why doesn't he ever do that? Now, granted, we know that he doesn't have a lot of organization skills. He can't plan for anything, right? So I get that. We all get that, I'm sure, but I get that. But yet, why doesn't he tell people that, hey, if I have to pay my taxes, for example, 4 times a year, this is how much money that needs to be made just for taxes. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I need to put aside each quarter. So can we help with that? You know what I'm saying? And then, like, make that a fucking tips goal or something, or make that a reoccurring goal. You know what I'm saying? For the first quarter or 3 months or for every 3 months of the year. Then have your tips goal, right? Have that up there. Then have another goal for your games, for money you need to raise for games and shit like that. Ladies and gentlemen, fuck the bullshit on, I'm trying to make this a gaming experience, or a great gaming experience for the streams or for YouTube. Fuck all that. You know that doesn't even exist anymore. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? That whole leaderboard nonsense, he said years ago that he wasn't going to do it because it was just going to screw the videos up and it was going to just be distracting on the stream. That's all you see now. That's really kind of the main event, to be honest. It's not even the gameplay. The gameplay is already trash. So it's really the drama, or even the melodrama, that actually happens on stream and behind the scenes, like on Twitter, and him responding to shit that happens with other medians. That's the actual entertaining value now. So why doesn't he list all of that stuff now? He might as well. Let me give you a decent example, and then we can continue. Lightside Bill, right? Lightside Bill, when he does the drinking game for Street Fighter on Fridays, I don't know if he does it for Call of Duty at all. I don't think so. At least the streams that I've seen, I've never seen him have a drinking game for Call of Duty. I feel like those guys would all have fucking alcohol poison if that was the case. Not to call them lightweights or anything. I'm just saying Phil fucks up a lot. And he has a lot of excuses. But for Street Fighter, he has a drinking game, right? And if I remember correctly, Bill has all the fucking rules up there on the screen all the time, and it's never hurt anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, granted, he has organization skills, and he has an idea, and he has a frame of mind on how he wants everything to look with, you know, his avatar, the Rocky cam, the chat, and so on and so forth. But the point is that it's up there in such a way that's not obstructing anything, right? So why doesn't Phil just do the same thing? What else does he have to lose? You know what I mean? Just something to think about.
Oh! I was shooting that guy, but someone else popped up behind me and got me. Trophy system was effective there.
Tonight, as I said, I really need help with tips right now. Not only do I need help with tips because I'm strapped for cash until the middle of the month when I get paid by Twitch, then I had $90 in chargebacks earlier today. Yeah, so pretty much the whole stream didn't happen. Yeah, isn't that nice? So please, guys, if you can support tonight, please do. I need the help.
You're e-begging again.
So wait a second. What about all the people who came through for subs and bits on that same stream? All those contributions don't mean jack shit because he couldn't keep the money for tips? Yikes. Yikes.
Why do you get the shaft? He asked, why did I shower today? Special occasion? Yes. You know, I never shower ever. So I decided once every 5 years I scrub my armpits and creatures come rolling out of there. Right.
I don't know why you're acting like an asshole about it, because when the gouty ear infection was starting up, even before that, honestly, but when the gouty ear infection was a thing, he was saying, yeah, this is one of the reasons why I don't shower often, because I could I'm prone to ear infections, right? Or I could gain more and more ear infections. Before that, he used to say, well, you know, I don't do much, man. I have a sedentary type lifestyle, dude. I just sit here and play video games and that's it. I don't really need to shower every day. What's the point of doing that? And even then, to co-sign on to that, he was like, oh, well, you know, if I really need to, man, I'll just grab a washcloth and just kind of, you know, scrub under the bits and so on and so forth. And then I'll just move on with my day. It's not that serious. I don't go anywhere. So you can't be mad because people call you out if you've actually showered or not. When you have used that as an excuse and as a shield in a lot of ways on why you do what you do. You can't be upset by that. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the man showers once, maybe twice a week. And he's okay with that. And he justifies it. What are you mad about? You're going to say all that shit and then have it thrown up in your face and you're going to feel a certain type of way? Fuck all that. It's funny, though.
When I shower, do I clean my butthole? No, I leave it caked with feces. I leave it like it's plugged. Then when I crap, it just explodes out, launches me off the toilet. It's great.
Team deathmatch.
What the fuck are you talking about? No, what I do is I get in the shower, I have a fire hose attachment, and I just spray my ass with the fire hose. What the fuck is going on? Stupidest thing ever.
I mean, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this guy has a shower stool. So, with that being said, I mean, who knows if the underparts are actually getting washed at all? Just saying. And even with the bullshit about his alleged bad back or whatever, you need a shower stool, my dude? You can't stand up for 15, 20 minutes to shower yourself? Like with Amber Lynn and fucking Chantel and all that shit, that's one thing. That's well, actually, Amber Lynn doesn't even do that. Because Amber Lynn has Becky shower her. Ugh. And I would assume Chantel probably has Peas do it, but he's probably okay with that. But for Phil, I mean, you really can't stand up for 15, 20 minutes and shower yourself, bro? Really? Really? All right.
I thought he was at the door, but my teammate had already killed him, and then someone else was deeper in the plane and got me. Well, it happens. What the?
Phil's aim is so atrocious, it's actually a thing of beauty. It's hard to look away from it. You have someone who's been playing Call of Duty for over a decade, for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every time a new Call of Duty comes out, he milks that shit for months on end. You would think he'd learn something over that period of time, right? You would think he would have developed experience and intuition he would just develop something. He would have something. He's not good at anything. He doesn't have situational awareness. He can't shoot for jack shit. I mean, meaning that his aim is terrible and whatnot. He doesn't know how to use his teammates well. He doesn't understand the flow of the maps. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't comprehend anything, I should say. Whoa. I mean, like I said, I joked about him being slow, but maybe I'm not joking. I don't know.
I almost had him.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not totally obtuse to the fact that he just doesn't care about gaming, because he don't. And it shows. And it showed over numerous years, to be honest. But he is out, even if you remove that from the equation, he's just outright bad. Just for the sake of being bad. Which is hilarious because he keeps bringing up this is how you don't play, even though he says that he killed it. Make of that what you will. And he says that he's a different streamer now. He is an interactive streamer. He's like the other big guys or whatever, right? It's just people don't give him a fair chance and take all that pignosis as you want to take it with the grain of pink salt that comes with. But in actuality, he's just shit. He's just a lazy, inept piece of shit for the sake of doing so. Like, you can't be mad when people call you lazy when you roll up out of your bed every day with the intention of being lazy or doing the bare fucking minimum or whatever the case may be. It's his whole forte. Even back when he gave a damn, if that ever even existed, you could still jump on him and say, well, you're bad at this. Oh, well, I tried. Yeah, you tried, but you're not actually trying to improve. You're bad. And when people say that you're bad at it, you just quit. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing that he ever gave a fuck about and that he ever really tried at was Street Fighter. And we all saw how that ended up. His peak was 4th place at EVO and never was able to repeat it. And then when he tried to make another run in the tournament scene, essentially he only did it to take other people's game footage and then got ran out out of that situation, what, 3 or 4 majors in? He went to what? Winter Brawl. He went to Final Round. He went to, let's see, whatever that event was in Chicago. And I think there was one more event, and that was it. That was like a rip. So it was like 3 or 4 events. And after Final Round, I believe, he never really came back. Outside the fact that Shin Blanca, I think is the name of the dude. They were working on a DVD that year, so no one could take footage anyway. All that footage belonged to Team Spooky, and Team Spooky was going in on that DVD for the Final Round situation. And he got into some type of controversy with some other player over something. I can't think of what it is at the moment. But I know he had a run-in with somebody, or he said and did some dumb shit for some reason. Also, I think he got into it with Ski Sonic too, over the commentary shit as well. But who was the player that he had that issue with? It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But it was that was all part of another situation where it was just stupid. It was just stupid to be stupid. Like, it really was. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, so I'll eventually figure out what that is, or it'll come to me. If not, I'll eventually find a video and we'll go over it. But that was a really bad year. Like, it's ironic too that the year he decided to jump back into the FGC is the year that ended up running his ass out completely. I've always found that shit to be fucking fascinating.
Hold the knife! Ugh, damn it. He didn't fucking die! What the fuck? Did you see? Dude, he did it again! Insta-kill handgun, look at this. It's an insta-kill. The game is so stupid. It thinks a human can point 2 like magnums and fire them perfectly and get a double shot that will kill someone. This game is broken as fuck. Are you dumb? On what planet would anyone ever be able to do that? You fucking idiots at Treyarch. Oh, this is cool, man. Kids will love this. Go wield those handy guns, yo. Handy guns. Kids love the handy guns. Fucking idiots.
There's the salt. The delicious salt.
Instant kill headshot. Yeah, you're so good. That's exactly what happened there. Not autoing.
Prepare for the meet. Cheers said, in general, do you feel husbands have a responsibility to look physically attractive to their wives? That has to do with their own relationship. Everyone's different. Everyone's different, and everyone has their own responsibilities dependent on their own relationship status and, you know, what it is with your significant other. Not for wives or husbands or whatever, but significant others in general.
Oh my god, he's drinking gin.
Everyone has a different definition of what's attractive. Everyone has a different definition of what's right for a relationship, and there's no generic answer to answer for you. But yeah, you should, if your significant other likes seeing you look a certain way, you should maybe do a little bit of effort so that you look attractive to your significant other. Might be nice, and then they'll reciprocate, you know?
I don't know if that was a sneak diss to Panda, or not Panda. I don't know if that was a sneak diss to Cat or not, but actually, almost in a subconscious sort of way, now I kind of understand why I brought up Panda. Let's think about that for a minute. If you go back and you look at the early days that Panda and Phil were dating, right? She did dress up like nice. She actually made an attempt to be appealing and attractive to Phil, right? So that's a thing. And Phil, you could say that, oh, well, maybe Phil dressed decently back then. I don't know. It's hard to say. Excuse me. I don't see that there's really too much difference on how he dressed then as he does now, but semantics. But as it pertains to Catherine and about how you should dress and so on and so forth, how you should present yourself, you should, even though you're with your wife, your husband, whatever, he wants to say significant other because I think he believes it has more meaning to it than what it does. Whoever is your spouse, your partner, whatever, you want to be appealing to them. You know what I'm saying? You want to show that you care, not just about them and what they think. Excuse me. Not just about them and what they think, but about yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you take pride in how you look and how you carry yourself, that translates and it admits to people around you, right? Like, people judge you by your surroundings and so on and so forth. But on top of that, it's personal health. It's not just how you look, but how you feel. You know what I'm saying? And how you conduct yourself or whatever. And that's why exercising, eating right, doing the right things is important, because you want to, if you love someone, right, you want to be there for them. You want to be around for a long time, right? Phil doesn't want to have kids. That's on him. no problem. If he wants to let the Burnell line die with him, then so be it. But as it pertains to just longevity in general, you love Catherine, right? You want to spend the rest of your life with her. You want to grow old and be able to do all these things, right? Instead of just withering away playing fucking video games, right? Because that's a great thing. You want to be there for her, right? You want to have other life experiences. So why don't you take care of yourself? Why is it you taking a break every couple hours to walk up and down stairs to prevent blood clots or whatever, at the extent of your personal well-being and your personal health? If that's the case, then Catherine's just going to outlive you and inherit everything. And if that's what he's okay with or what he's not thinking about, well, there's other people that are thinking about that. I'm not saying Catherine's thinking about that, but at least the last couple times we saw her, she was certainly in better shape than he was. So what are you gonna do? How much do you really love this woman if you're not willing to essentially save yourself or better yourself even to be with her? How much value does this woman really have to you? And if you remember, Phil said, "Oh, she did so much for me, and she made me feel ways that I never felt before, and she's been such a positive person in my life or whatever. She was my angel and all that other whatever." But look at where you're at now. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what kind of underlying issues he has that his dumbass doesn't want to go to the doctor and get checked out for. And I understand that at the moment he's supposed to have a visit coming up or whatever the case may be. But to be honest with you, I mean, who's to say if he'll ever go? Because to be honest, I think he's scared to go. I think he's scared to go into a doctor's office, be evaluated, and then tell him the truth that, hey, you're in pretty bad shape, buddy. I mean, it's not like he's going to listen to them anyway. He didn't listen to anybody when they tried to help him improve his business and improve his public relations or public image. He didn't listen to anybody when it came to any of those things. Why would I expect him to take anything seriously when it comes to his health? This asshole has gout, and yet he still partakes in fucking red meat in large quantities, right? Don't let him try to tell you shit about shit. He's still drinking, and he shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't care. That's why he's, almost 40? But he looks like he's like 60. I wonder if he colors his hair or not. At least on his head, anyway. Because he seems to be the most concerned with that over anything else. The dude's literally falling apart. But you love Catherine so much, right? And you want to spend the rest of your life with her. Which is another 15 years? Maybe? Just something to think about.
Wow, that was at least 5 to 6 hits and they didn't give him a sniper shot. He was fucking dumb.
Taxes are magically going to stop in 2 years? No, my point is I can get caught up with the taxes in 2 years, 3 years, however long it takes. Because I know I have to pay off these taxes. It takes a long time with these plans. So it may be a lot longer than that. It may be 5 years before I'm caught up on the back taxes I owe. But I'm going to get caught up eventually.
Fuck you. You're a liar.
Whoa, oh! Dude, a Molotov went over my head and then a sniper exploded me in the face. Jeez. Wow, I openfired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots. Instant death with the fucking shotgun. Bullshit.
Ugh. All I can really taste is salt.
Just like 3 or 4 shots on that guy until he finally ended up basically getting center mass on him. And by then there was already a bunch of bullets being pumped into him, so he lost the fight. But he's going to say that he got cheated. Amazing. Amazing.
I hit him 5 to 7 times, then I die, so the connection's back. How could I possibly do any better than that? Every bullet connected with their body, every single one, from point blank, and I still went down first.
What do I do in my free time? Oh, I have a meth lab. A meth lab in my house. I easily, I'm a regular Walter White. We're now up to $44 in tips tonight. And we are almost halfway to the goal, guys. Please, again, if you like the stream, if you support me, if you want to help me out right now because things have been going shitty recently with Chargebacks.
I thought tips weren't mandatory. I thought contributions weren't mandatory. Let me get it together.
Really bad. Excuse me. My entire early stream was completely negated. And it's like I didn't even stream earlier today, which sucks ass. If you want to help out with that, please tip me tonight. I really need the help this week with tips regardless. But now on top of that, the chargebacks just made it even worse, okay? So please tip if you can. Thank you. Yes, negated. Basically, I did hit the tips goal earlier today, and then I got $90 in chargebacks. So I made $10 today, you know, on that first stream.
Here's the thing. This scheme right here, and that's exactly what it is, by the way, is no different than the back taxes. It's always having a revolving door of excuses or of reasons that you have to constantly be engaging with them. And all of this stems back from like 2017. Ever since then, he always had to come up with a new crisis, a new reason for some type of financial support. Now, back before that, it was, you know, I need you guys to help me with views. I need you guys to help me on Patreon, or please get something for my Teespring, so on and so forth. But once he realized that tipping was the real lick on Twitch, it's always more and more bullshit excuses, despite the fact that supposedly we're all stalkers and we're all in his business, despite the fact that he puts that business out there so he can convince idiots and people who have, I guess, apparently, very open disability wallets to give him money. Like, how is it that people are prying into your personal business when you put your personal business out there? And then how are you going to get mad that people criticize you when you accept money from people who have disabilities, and you know that? Like, you know that. Now, keep in mind, you cannot determine or dictate who gives you money and who doesn't, so to speak, right? Because you don't know the people who are giving you money. You don't know what their situations are. It is what it is. But Phil does know. And yet those people are the ones that he actually appeals to, which is the reason why people hate him as much as they do anyway. Jesus Christ, the mental gymnastics is amazing.
Where the chargebacks from? 2 of them were from November. 1 of them was from September and had actually been disputed like a month and a half ago and was in limbo for a million years. And then finally it was basically, against you. So I had 2 that just outright were found against me.
So November, December is when that initiative of blocking people from tipping, and allegedly all those supposed refunded tips he was going to give back in November, December, because a lot of people were trolling him hard back then, was a real big thing. And remember how he used to sit there on stream, I'm going to refund this guy back. I'm not going to accept this. I'm going to refund this back later because it seems trollish. This asshole didn't refund jack shit. And he never does. I don't even think he's ever really blocked anybody from fucking tipping. He's too greedy not to. Whether it's $1 or $100, he's keeping that shit. And if he can fight it, he will. Do I believe at one time or another PayPal used to side with him on every little bullshit thing? Yeah, I'm sure they did. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, certainly after Tut, well, realistically after Mort, because Mort is really what kicked things off. But certainly after King Tut or Tutmosis, whatever, that's when people really started to wise up. You know what I'm saying? I think that's when people really started to wise up. And he keeps talking about stolen credit card this, stolen credit card that. You don't even have to go through all that trouble to get over on Phil and whoever it is, his payment processor, and get your money back. It's not that serious. There are big streamers on Twitch who complain on Twitter about that all the time. And they don't nearly have the amount of excuses Phil does. And they're talking about, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 donations at times. They're not sitting here fighting over fucking scraps like Phil is. Keep that in mind.
One that I disputed, and that one was.
Or they may not be stupid and just put all the details out there like Phil does. That's a thing too.
So you got those chargebacks plus fees and shit, and it ended up being like $90.
Still didn't die after all that. Yo, the bullets aren't registering. I think the connection's gone to shit. My bullets aren't registering at all. I'm shooting directly at the guy. Nothing's hitting. Are you out of your mind? Now nothing hits at all. I shot them so many times and they were able to hit. Yeah, look. Did you see that? He got hit 3, 4, 5 times with the perfect sniper shot off. Like nothing ever happened. He never got hit. What a great game. That's terrible. That's seriously ridiculously bad gameplay.
My mouth is full of salt.
What's that? Oh! Ouch! What the? Huh? Sure. What was that
Look at
animation?
that. Mama Burnell sauce all over the fucking deck. That's a goddamn shame. That's a goddamn shame.
They were somehow behind me even though they weren't down there. See what I mean about people not rendering? There was no one down there. I cleared it. There was no one down there at all. I hit that guy 5 to 7 times. He stuttered. I turned
He
and shot
really
again.
expects us
I
to
died.
believe he cleared that whole bottom level, and someone just spawned. I mean, it's possible someone spawned in there, but you know, are we really expected to believe that he cleared that whole bottom area, and then as he's coming up the ramp, then all of a sudden just someone pops up? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This dude is too lazy to clean his room, and I'm expected to believe that he would clear a whole bottom area of enemies. Stop.
Wow, that's really great gameplay right there. Yeah, that's realistic, amazing gameplay, top level stuff. Totally not the connection is shit for that guy, so he gets away with it. Stupid garbage. Dude, what? Again, look, they're not there. The game does not render them, and then they get cheap kills. What the fuck is that shit? The person's not down there. I went down there, they were not there.
Stop. That guy
100%
clearly must have been chasing after you as you went down to that second level. Stop. And here's the thing. Because he doesn't have his earphone, why does he even have those things on? He clearly can't hear anything. You know what I'm saying? Not that I condone sound whoring anyway, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. You know, do what you gotta do. But you clearly can't hear anything with that headset, so just take it off. Like, you keeping it up there does what? And then what a game like Fall Guys or even Street Fighter, what are you doing any of that for? It's really all visual cues for those games anyway. Something to think about.
Bullshit. They're not there. What the? I missed. She was right in front of me. How the fuck did I miss? That should have been an instant kill.
So thank you to everyone who was supportive tonight. I really do appreciate getting close to hitting the tip skull. Looks like we're not going to hit it for tonight. But thank you to those who did. At least it was a decent night. And it sucks that earlier today, like, literally everything I did was negated by this criminal piece of fucking garbage. But at the very least, that's all ending soon. You know what I mean? At least I don't have to worry about these chargebacks constantly happening very, very shortly. So.
Oh my god, he's drinking gin.
Jesus, dude. I've hit him with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. He goes, hit, done. Signs of terrible connection. I stuck the wall!
Alright guys, I think that's enough for me. You don't want to see me, you know, crying like a fucking baby here. Oh. There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me. It's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Still has.
How do you hell you have that big screen TV and you clearly can't see anything? How does that work? I mean, granted, don't be wrong, he needs glasses, clearly. But how do you fuck up that bad? Move the chair closer to the TV if it's such a problem. Anywho, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take a small break, and then we'll see you guys for the second video of the broadcast. I don't get it. You sit there all day. You sit in front of a fucking television all day, and you can't figure out how to do basic shit. Oh boy. Oh boy.
To warn everyone, warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
He said,
Let's see if we can hold on to that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the second video that will make up our broadcast. Brought to us by Snort Burnell, DSP. Second video, sorry. X to Gout. X to Gout meme. Let's see here. Procrastination. Insane amounts of business and advertising. And Gout Talk. This is from February 5th of 2021. The link will be down in the description. Here we go. Hell.
he posting an X for no reason when you talk and I don't get it. Well, I'm sure it's some kind of a silly meme. I don't really understand what most people say in my stream chat either. I don't understand ever. Like, most of the time when people talk, I don't have a clue what on earth people are saying. I'm just at a complete loss. You know, I'm an old man and I'm not really in touch with my viewing audience who are much younger and more hipper than me. They're all in line with the hip memes, the dankest memes, and the hippest groovy lingo. They know it, I don't. You know? So, I just basically have to, on the fly, pretend like I know what people are talking about, even though 9 times out of 10 I'm just nodding in approval. I have no clue what's happening around me. Okay? So, I don't know why people are doing the X. I feel when people do it, I guess what they're saying is they don't believe me or they think that, you know, I'm lying or it's disapproval. All I have to say is if that's the case, if you think I'm a constant liar, alright, you should leave.
And tons of dumb people.
And that's one of the reasons why you make the money that you do, or the lack thereof, I should say. But it's not just that. There's actually a lot of truth in what he says, even though he thought he's probably trying to be sarcastic. But in truth, it was him actually kind of being honest with himself. He can't really understand what other people do or other people's thought process. He can't empathize with people. He doesn't really care. He doesn't really understand his own thought process. He just comes up with whatever excuse in his head that he can roll with until someone calls him out, and then he'll adjust it on the fly. It makes it worse. It blatantly makes it seem like he's lying, but that's what he does. There's nobody that can justify anything that Darkside Phil says, for the most part. I'd say, people say it's like 50-50, but it's really closer to like 80-20. You know what I'm saying? Like, at times, 20% of the shit he says, okay, that makes some sense. Granted, you didn't come up with it. You got that from somebody else, but who don't? So it is what it is. At least from that standpoint. That's the reason why he follows the people he follows on Twitter, or he purposely looks for certain people and see what they're saying. Like, I've heard him quote shit that Maximilian has said before. He's actually co-signed the shit that fucking Low Tier Gout said, and that was, you know, a couple of streams ago, especially the way Low Tier Guy keep losing his Twitter account. I don't know how Phil keeps up with it, which means that he seeks him out. Anyway, the point being is that Phil just can't relate to people. That's the reason why he has to put himself above them, unless he needs something. And then he's still above you, but he understands you guys. You know what I'm saying? Or he can sympathize with your plight. Or that's the reason why you guys anointed him to be your representative, right? He's not like all these successful, reasonable fucking streamers and YouTube, you know, personalities or whatever. He's just like you guys. And in a lot of ways, to be honest, that's Phil kind of calling people a piece of shit, because Phil damn sure knows he's a piece of shit. So if Phil really is the representative of his community, then they're all garbage. They're all garbage if that's the case. Now, granted, let me walk that back a little bit. Not everybody over there is obviously a shit person or a trash person or whatever, or engage in dumb crap or whatever. So let's say this. So the larger majority of his fan base that vocalizes their concerns, complaints, their hatred and ignorance, or whatever the case may be, that's who Phil represents. And so by proxy, it explains why he is the way he is. And it also explains why he treats them the way he treats them. Because he treats them like garbage. He treats them like utter fucking trash. Which could make someone surmise how he may have treated Catherine or even Panda at one time or another. We know how he treated John and Howard, and he gave a fuck about John. So you telling me he wouldn't have treated Panda somewhat poorly? I'm not saying physically, because he's not man enough to do that, but psychologically? And And with Catherine, I assume she shuts herself away from him anyway. He treats her more like a fucking roommate or a caretaker because that has to be based on the interactions that he has with her. And I assume it's not very much. But think of that as you will.
Left. Why do you think they're my detractors now?
You should not be here on a stream watching someone who lies constantly. If that's what you think, that would come.
Because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, if you're willing to shit on people who give you money on a daily basis, you're telling me you wouldn't shit on the person who fucking washes your clothes and who cooks your meals? Take the reason, let's extract the reason of intimacy and all that bullshit out of this equation for a minute. Let's take all of that out and relegate her to that of just another fan, just another supporter, just another person who has a part to play, if you will, and that's it. You're telling me that he would treat her with the type of respect that he would treat, that you think he would really give her that much more respect, I should say, than the people who give him money every day? Yeah, he's going to treat her a little better because he certainly sees her. That's a physical person that he can interact with. But I would assume it isn't too far off the mark. Outside of maybe trying to just keep her happy, of course, and whatnot. But that right there benefits him in the long run. And that's really what it comes down to when you think of DSP, Darkside Phil Burnell. He doesn't do anything that doesn't benefit him. The thing is that he's an idiot, so it usually comes back to blow up in his face. But any move that he does make is to further his own comfort, his own convenience, his own complacement. Period. That's all it really comes down to. Even when he's being nice to people, there's no real validity behind it. He's only doing this to get you to do what he wants you to do later on down the line. Or he believes this is how somebody who really is grateful would act. Because that's all he is. He's just a really poor emulation, if you will, of human decency, of a person in general. That's why he talks the way he does. Not every person needs to say, well, I'm a normal human being and I make mistakes. Just say you're a normal fucking person who makes mistakes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just say that. Why do you always have to put the human aspect in it? What makes you so different from everybody else? And it's when people, at least for me anyway, when people say, oh, you know what I'm saying, or when anybody says it really, I crave human interaction, or I crave this, I crave that. When you use the word human in a lot of those situations, depending on the context, of course, it implies that you're different from people, that you're unique from people, that you're special in some ways. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm sure feeds into some level of narcissism on some type of scale somewhere, but it screams out, I'm different from y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fucking Martian and shit. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not like you motherfuckers, apparently. And you could take that any which way you want, but that's how he makes it come across. So when people defend him, it boggles my mind. You're not proving anything by doing any of that, but knock yourself out. Especially since he doesn't respect you, nor does he care that you guys do it anyway. You're really just snorts in the wind.
Every word that leaves my mouth is a lie.
You should leave, all right? Now, if this is true, and if you think that I'm a constant liar, then I'm telling you to leave. If I'm a liar,
Stop.
you shouldn't.
I don't want to
leave
hear this pathetic attempt at piggy reverse psychology. It's already bad. The moment you started stumbling, you just went ahead and lost your point. But with that being said, yet again, this is someone who has admitted to lying to people to get his way and to protect himself and somewhere deep down in that paragraph of snorts, his family as well. So how are you going to be mad that people call you a liar when you come out and admitted that you've lied to people on numerous occasions to protect yourself and your family, etc., etc.? Like, that right there goes back to the whole situation about long-term thinking, and he lacks it. You know what I'm saying? He lies so much, or he talks out of his ass so much that he barely remembers the things that he says, unless it has a long-term narrative that he can profit from. And even then he fucks it up, which is amazing. And so thank God for plus 100 in luck, because if not for that, he would already be back home in his mother's house or his parents' house, whatever, if they're still together, he would still be back home with his parents at this point. Without a doubt. And I think that honestly scares him more than anything. Because if you really think about it, I mean, I'll try to make this brief. I'm not going to be brief. Outside of if he was ever popular, any popularity or notoriety or any type of respectability is gone. The money's gone. The friends are gone. The first, I don't think he ever even loved Panda anyway, but whatever. The first love is gone. All he has left is this fledgling group of fucking exceptional individuals, and that's it. And a bunch of debt and a road of failure behind him. He doesn't have jack shit else. The only thing that would complete that, right, that would give you the perfect well, it would be the Mona Lisa. I mean, the Mona Gout, the Mona Snout, the Mona Snorts, whatever. The only thing that it would take to complete this masterpiece, if you will, is the fact that he'd be forced to move back home. And we can really stretch that out, and either him moving back to Connecticut in general, the state of Connecticut, or moving back home with his parents. That right there completes his failure. And he knows it. Just saying. How many times do you think his parents told him, why don't you just move back to Connecticut? Not necessarily move back home, because I'm sure they're glad to get him out. But why don't you just come back home? Why'd you move all the way across the country anyway? What was the point of that? What is that you're trying to make? Like, what point were you trying to make by doing that? And that's why that whole complaint that he has about, oh, John and Howard, maybe they held resentment against me, or maybe they were pissed off because I moved across country and it was like, oh, Phil made it and he just left us and that's it. When John and Howard admitted that they were happy for you. Matter of fact, you were such a piece of shit, Phil, that you had to guilt trip Howard to come to your house to do one more playthrough with you before you left. Because Howard was like, you called Howard and said, hey, can you come do this playthrough? He was like, nah, I'm spending time with whoever he was dating at the time, or whoever his wife is, or whatever the case may be. Nah, man, I'm busy. I'm not going to be able to do it. Oh, well, if you don't do it, then that means we were never really friends. That's in the John and Howard response. Like, who does that to somebody? Yeah, you're moving soon, which Howard said, that's what he told, that's who he told whoever that young lady was he was with. Like, hey, you're being a bitch, and I need to go over there because the guy's moving soon. And she was like, all right, well, do what you got to do. But to fuck up somebody's day or fuck up somebody's plans for your own greedy bullshit, and yet again, people want to defend your dumbass? Wow.
I'm lying when I'm telling you should leave. That means that you should stay. Right? But then if I'm telling you that now, that means that that's a lie and you should leave. So, so good luck figuring that out. But if everyone always constantly thinks I'm lying, it gets pretty tiring, don't you think? I don't know.
I'm good at lying.
Total Score and Cheers says, Wings of Redemption, your older brother now? Fuck no. Snow Carl Cheers says, what do you think? Did you think Viewer's Choice ran its course? You hate every nominated game. You procrastinate at all means to avoid it. Perhaps we can get Cooking with the King or something as a sub-goal reward instead. No. Hold on a second. No, that's incredibly fucking stupid what you just...
Let's leave that there. I purposely waited for that. First things first. Yeah, Viewer's Choice is garbage. Viewer's Choice is just like Patreon's Choice. It's garbage. And he was looking at figuring out a way to try to rip people off from the rip. And essentially he did. He got away with a lot of shit off Patreon's Choice. Viewer's Choice, same trash. Absolute same trash. And even if the audience gets what it wants and forces him to play a game that he doesn't want to play, he's just going to stretch that shit out and eventually rage quit it anyway. Because what's the point of him playing a game that he doesn't clearly want to play, and he's going to purposely be an asshole and sandbag the playthrough anyway? What's the point of that? Look at fucking... what game was it? Fire Emblem Three Houses. Or Fire Emblem Houses. Whatever the title was. Think about that. Like, look at how poorly he did that shit. And he clearly didn't want to play that game. He said at one time he wanted to, but clearly he didn't want to play it. And that's the reason why, honestly, it was almost a snort send that it even made it up there on the polls anyway, because now he can force them to pay him to play it. And then he profited off of that how many different ways? he because it was viewer's choice, he either got that in subs, more like he got that in subs. Then he ended up getting the money on the stream itself, and then he's getting money off YouTube. So it paid off either which way. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised he even finished it. I thought he would rage quit that shit. I honestly thought he was going to rage quit it. So there you go on that. But he might as well drop it. It's garbage. But the only reason why he keeps doing it is because he's hoping that a lot of the games that he never had a chance to play, or any of the remasters that may be made available, he can just force them to essentially pay for the game, then pay him to play it through the viewer's choice, and then profit from it on stream, and then profit on it from YouTube. It is what it is. That's the reason why he keeps doing it. And the thing is in truth, he should go back to DSP Tries It. He didn't mind doing it for the Vest Streak celebrations. What was the point? So if he does, and he doesn't even have to do it every month. He could do it like, he does what? During the Vest Streaks, I should say. Vest celebrations. He used to do what? 2 DSP Tries It's? It'd be like a food item and then something from like Starbucks or some shit. He could do that every 3 months. I don't think that would be a big deal. Now, granted, obviously he's going to be a bitch, and he's not going to eat all of it. He's only going to give you like a 10-minute video that's going to go on King of Hate Vlogs, and that's it. But, you know, it's something. It's something. And like I said, that's not an every month type of thing. That's every 3 months, or every quarter, if you will. He could do that. And I guess he could say he could profit from it. But then again, he said years ago that he wasn't going to bring back DSP Tries It anymore because it's not profitable, and you know he wasn't getting much out of it, and so on and so forth, despite the fact that he's contradicted himself multiple times on the amount of money he made off of those videos when clearly he was banking off those videos. That's the reason why he did so many of them. But make of that what you will. But he might as well do DSP Tries It. And it doesn't have to be a food item. It could be anything. You know, he could try a new piece of merchandise. He could do whatever. He could have people send him shit. I remember Tevin made that recommendation a couple years ago of having DSP Tries It, and he could go ahead and just do that or have people send him stuff for DSP Tries It. But then again, that wouldn't necessarily work well because Phil has had games sent to him by fans, and most of those games he didn't even play. I don't even know if he even sent most of those games back. So keep that in mind too.
Just said snow call, but I'm not surprised. No, I'm not purposely procrastinating.
This guy is 1,000,000% a pathological liar and a sociopath.
As I said all along with Divinity Original Sin 2, I said this was just unfortunate that people chose this because they chose it when I was already playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, which was insanely long. There was no way I could play that and Fire Emblem at the same time. And then as soon as I finished Fire Emblem, we went right into the hardcore gaming season when there was no time for a downtime game. And then we played Yakuza 7, which is an incredibly lengthy RPG. I knew this was going to happen. Alright? I knew it. I told you guys all along.
Even though, didn't he spend like multiple night streams just grinding his character's levels? You know what I'm saying? In Yakuza? Or Yakuza, however you want to pronounce it. Didn't he do that? And he did that on purpose. He didn't have to do that. He chose to do that. Oh well.
Something shocking. This is not something that I didn't warn you. I told you all along this would happen. Alright? Now, I just finished Yakuza 7 a week ago. Right? Just finished the story. And people are like, well, why didn't he start Divinity yet? Well, because I've got other lengthy ongoing playthroughs that we're about to finish. Why not finish Assassin's Creed? Now we've finished the 2 insanely lengthy games from 2020, and we can move fully into new content with Super Mario 3D World and Divinity Original Sin 2, so it feels like everything's been refreshed on the streams, okay?
It's funny, too, because ever since Nintendo lifted that restriction so you could profit off Nintendo games on YouTube, and ever since that debacle, that bullshit he pulled with Super Mario Sunshine, he's been quick to jump on a Mario game when it comes out and played ASAP. Like ASAP. Now, quick bit of lore. I'm sure you guys already heard this because I've certainly gone over it. But as it pertains to the Mario Sunshine situation, another one of those things. Patreon goal, $1,250 to play it. And he got paid to do it. He got paid his money and came up with all these different reasons on why he couldn't play it. But his main excuse was, well, there's 2 Mario games already coming out. It was Mario Galaxy and Mario plus Rabbids. And he was like, I'm already playing 2 of them. You guys keep voting for Mario. I don't understand why you keep doing it, but I'm already playing 2 brand new Mario games, and I can't profit off of this on YouTube. So, like, it needs to make sense. Well, if it needs to make sense, then why the fuck are you playing Mario games right now anyway? Why don't you play either one of those later? Oh, it's because of the new release, dude. You're not profiting off of YouTube. And how long are you going to hold anybody's attention on Twitch, to be honest with you? So that doesn't make any sense in itself. So anyway, so he was like, okay, when Mario Sunshine was going to win, or when it did win, because inevitably it was going to win, he was like, okay, I'm gonna do you guys a solid. Okay, I acknowledge, this is his exact words if I'm correct, which don't hold me to that. I acknowledge the fact that Mario Sunshine won the poll. It won the Patreon's Choice or whatever. I'm gonna do you guys a favor. It's in a pre-stream. It's definitely in a pre-stream. I'm gonna play Spyro. Right? I'm gonna play Spyro, and then later on down the line, I'll play Mario Sunshine. So you're essentially getting 2 playthroughs for the price of 1. Because I don't want you guys to get ripped off. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, oink, oink. But at the same time, I need to play something that I can profit from on YouTube. You're gonna profit off of Spyro? An old game that's already been around and you can already see a bunch of playthroughs for it? Okay, whatever. That sounds like some pig-tard shit, but alrighty then. And that's how he played it. And because he was playing both of those Mario games, plus the runner-up for Patron's Choice, he was able to push Mario back as far as he did. And whatnot. And then that's when people started calling him out and whatnot. That's when the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics really put pressure on his fan base. And in turn, his fan base responded, I think, accordingly, and put pressure on Phil and kept reminding him, hey, yeah, we understand that you're playing all these games right now and whatever, but you still owe us Mario Sunshine. And this is where things get really funny. As we were getting closer and closer to when he, was finally settling on playing it, come to find out, he didn't actually buy the game yet. And then he was going to have to buy some extra peripherals, a couple of different wires, to connect to his GameCube so he could capture it. He essentially built up all these excuses on why he wasn't going to do it, despite the fact that he already got his $1,250 at this time. It's been at least a couple months. He had already had that money. He probably already spent that money. Well, he certainly spent it. But he was coming up with all these different excuses and so on and so forth. And then throughout that playthrough, he kind of bitched and complained about it. It cost him about $130 to $150 to get everything he needed to play Mario Sunshine. And this idiot had the nerve to get mad at people and say, oh, I lost money on this. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to buy all this stuff that I wasn't planning on buying and so on and so forth. Hopefully you guys support the playthrough on Twitch here because I lost money doing this. You were paid in advance. You were paid $1,250. Even if you want to say that, even you had to spend money to make money. So you still walked away with $1,100. You still walked away with $1,100, and you had the nerve to throw that shit up in people's face, saying that you had to spend $130 to $150 to play this. You knew you owed it. But you thought that they were going to be content with those other playthroughs, and that's why he kept pushing it off. And it just came back to fuck him. That to make a long story short. But if it was true what he was saying, that he couldn't profit off of Nintendo games, which is true. He couldn't do that on YouTube. Why the fuck were you playing any of those games right now anyway? They all could have waited. Oh well.
Here's your answer. You got a problem with that answer? Too bad!
Yep, I'm toxic.
Nose Vacuum Cheers is when you consider yourself a pre-boomer. A pre-boomer? What does that even mean? Baby boomers are people who were born during a certain generation when there was a giant explosion in people having kids. Alright? This is my parents' generation. They are baby boomers. Alright? I would be a post-boomer. I don't know what you mean by pre-boomer. Like, that would be older than my parents. That's not possible, no. Don't know what you're talking about. Stealth and Shadows cheer. Have you ever thought of doing a new tip goal where the reward is a massive ban to everyone that is banned? It would obviously have to be a big amount. Well, hold on. Let me just consider that for one second. No! It's another stupid idea. That would be insanely dumb and open the floodgates to every piece of garbage that came onto my stream and tried to say something insulting or make it miserable for everyone. It would be incredibly stupid. I would never do that. Rob the Gamer God cheered and asked if my wife brags about me to her coworkers. Well, Rob the Gamer God... Hold on a second. I think I need to do something. Here we go. Okay. Rob the Gamer God, I'd like to speak directly to you right now. Okay? I would. I'd like to speak directly to you on.
Do I think he do I think Catherine brags to her coworkers about Phil? Probably not. But if you guys remember, she actually had company come by come by their home once. If you guys remember, it's definitely in a Snort Burnell video. It's in one of them. It's you might find it in a Mighty D video, and it may be in a Mr. Huff Stuff video, where she comes to the door. You don't actually see her on camera, but she comes to the door. He looks over and he's like, "Oh, they're here. They're here. They're on the way. Okay, no problem. I'll shut it all down." And then he has to go out there. So I would assume that either that was her family, which that probably wasn't the case, or some friends or coworkers or acquaintances or whatever were coming by for a dinner or some type of situation. And given how miserable he looked when when she came in to let him know that, hey, get ready because they're about to be here or they are here, I assume that night didn't go too great. There's nothing really charming about Phil, and he's not really great at carrying on an actual conversation with people without trying to talk down to them or just being totally lost. So that's not exactly something that's going to work for him. And he hasn't worked an actual job in years, so he can't relate to any of those people anyway, and he doesn't go outside, so he doesn't have any outside interests or hobbies or any of that shit. So there's probably wasn't really much to talk about. But the point being is that they met him. And if, like I said, if his temperament or if his mood in general was any type of reflection of what happened that night, I assume they understand what the deal is. I assume they understand what, or have an inkling, if you will, of what Catherine deals with on a day-to-day basis, so to speak. There's nothing to brag about. And even if they were like, okay, well, he's a strange individual, but he comes across as a nice guy. He's kind of one of those people that you kind of, he's easily forgettable in some facets, right? To some extent, until you really dig through the fucking pig grease and shit and you find out what he really is. But for them, they don't got time for that. You can kind of deal with him for a night and you can kind of easily forget him. So that's what I would assume the situation is. And if you're Catherine, I'm sure there's so much more that you want to talk about or you want to know about other people than speaking on yourself or on your situation or your surroundings. That's just my thoughts. But I wouldn't think I'm that far off of the mark. But who could say?
This one. I do not work where my wife works. I'm not there when she talks to her coworkers. I actually don't know what she talks to them about. I don't ask her. She tells me about her day at work. That's great. Sometimes she vents about a bad day at work. That's great. Just like when she comes home from work, I don't tell her about every single thing that I did on a stream because I don't feel it would be very pertinent or a good use of her time. When she's home, it's time for us to spend time together and have fun together and have that time with a family and not dwell about what we do at work. All right? So that's my full answer. In a nutshell, no! I don't know!
Well, that doesn't make any sense because she comes home late, right? Or she works in the evenings, I should say, third shift or whatever the case may be. And when she gets home, I assume she's pretty tired. And when you get off stream, you say you're pretty tired. And you're saying that, you have to hurry up and get off streams, or you can go ahead and get all this uploaded to DSP Gaming, and you got to set all this up, and you got to put your Twitter messages out. And then clearly you're either going to get a drink or you're playing WWE Champions. I assume there's not a whole lot of social time. And even if I was able to buy into your bullshit for even a second, that maybe you and Catherine sit down, on the couch downstairs and watch some TV, I assume that she's on her phone and you're on your phone. So I assume there's not a whole lot of interaction going on. Who are you trying to fucking feed this lie to? In a lot of ways, it's a matter of, are you trying to convince us or yourself? You know what I'm saying? And he contradicts himself so often that it kind of continues to feed into this like very toxic type of cycle, if you will. It's like a toilet that's just constantly flushing, if you will, and he can't figure out how to stop it. And obviously that's also a crack at him because he has a broken toilet and he's too lazy and too stupid to get the damn thing fixed after all these years, which is hilarious. And since mommy and daddy are too old, they can't fly across country to fix it for him, which is another pathetic moment in the life and times of Darkseid Phil.
Stop asking stupid questions. Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, so far, thank you for your support today. Again, I want to remind everyone, please, I need your help with tips today. I need your support with tips to get through the next week and a half until I get paid by Twitch. Please tip me today if you can. It would be outstanding if we can hit the tips goal today. Okay?
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Now, as you guys know, if you've been paying attention, maybe you haven't been, right now, I really need help with tips. I need to basically be able to pay for all my bills between now and the middle of the month until I get paid by Twitch with tips. I have no other funds. So 100% of your tips are going towards to essentials and paying my bills, of which I have many. This morning I actually paid my car payment. Coming up, I've got 2 different condo dues, one of which for the condo that I'm trying to get rid of for a year, and they still haven't fucking fully foreclosed on it. So I'm stuck dropping $400 a month. If I don't, they'll sue me. So I waste that much money. Yeah, as stupid as that sounds. Of course, I've got my dues here. I got the internet bill coming up. Among other things. So, many things to pay. If you really support me and you like my streams, you want to help me out in the short term right now, please tip me. I still appreciate
if you really support me. So the fact that they come out to the streams, right, and they support the YouTube videos and get their little ad clicks or whatever isn't enough for you. They got to throw money at you directly, which is even more ironic in a lot of ways, because if you think about it, the daily tips, stream tips, if you will, or tip goals or whatever, has just become the new credit line. Let me explain, so to speak. So, ever since the bankruptcy has been granted, right, and all that $140,000 got wiped clean. Basically, the $200 a day that he's been able to gain from his indoctrination with the vet streak has led to the $200 tip goal, or stream goals, if you will. It's just become the new credit line, which shows why he's so desperate to get that money day in, day out. Let's go ahead and take WWE champions out of the equation for a minute. And let's take out his daily bills. Or not daily, because the daily bills don't make a lot of sense. His monthly bills. Because he makes enough money on Twitch each and every month, just, in subs and in bits to cover his monthly expenses. That's very clear. You can go to Kiwi Farms, you can see all that. You see it on Track Twitter too. So, literally, the tips are just the new credit line. It's the new money. It's the new ATM that he's just trying to pull from. And in turn, if he's literally spending, let's say he makes $200 a day for 6 straight days, goes on his day off, and then comes back and cries that he's broke again. That, ladies and gentlemen, should give you an idea of how he was actually using his credit cards for all those years. Because in truth, ladies and gentlemen, how the fuck do you have $130,000 in credit cards plus $130,000 in credit cards and you don't own shit? I want you to really think about that. He doesn't own anything. He doesn't own the condo in Connecticut. He doesn't own the condo/townhouse in Washington, the Snort Fort. He doesn't own his car. Catherine has hers. You know what I'm saying? She has her Subaru and shit. He doesn't own anything. Like, he doesn't have really anything of value, if you will. All of his equipment and everything is out fucking dated or was donated to him. He doesn't own anything. He has nothing really of value. So what the fuck do you spend $130,000 on? And you don't own anything. Just to give you guys, just something for you guys to think about. Like, really, really take that in. You had, I should say, past tense. Well, at least most of it anyway. You had an enormous amount of debt that you could kind of expect from a family of 4 or even a family of 5. You know what I'm saying? You would expect them to maybe have something similar to that much debt. Not him. It's you and one other person. If he had between $20,000 and like $40,000 in debt, I'd be like, okay, I could probably see that. I'm not saying I justify it, you know what I'm saying, but I can kind of see that. But you had 3 times that. And what do you have to show for it? And I mean, outside the meme that he won't show us his house and all the new shit he bought, fuck all that. Like, what does he really have to show for any of that? And we've seen his surroundings over the years. He's told us about all the stuff that he has. He don't own nothing. If you want to go by the bankruptcy, by his bankruptcy documents, he really don't own shit. So where'd all the money go? He supposedly spends $5,000 in business expenses on what? Something to think about. And if that's what he's actually paying each and every month, then how the fuck did he rack up $130,000 in fucking debt? Think about that.
But if you have the option to choose how to contribute, I would strongly urge you, please tip me. I need the help with tips in the short term. So please do, okay?
過酷な運命を背負って極道の抗争に巻き込まれていた。
Nicholas cheered. He says Twitch is arguably worse. It's run by a bunch of here we go, libtard SJWs, and you have to be careful not to say blind playthrough or the words that were recently banned. No, you don't. You just have to not be an asshole. If you're not an asshole, chances are you're gonna be fine. I've had next to no issues at all on Twitch, at all.
They're a very preferential website. Twitch TV looks for streamers who are going to constantly be begging for money. Okay? I need subs, send me donations and subs, so you'll do a ton of subs on Twitch, and Twitch makes a ton of money off your channel. Then they don't bother you anymore. Okay? But I was never like that. I'm just going to be a professional Twitch streamer from now on, and I need a couple thousand people to come over with me daily and to all sub to me, and I'll just talk to you all day, and we'll shoot this shit.
Never got that couple thousand people, by the way, unless it was drama. But that certainly didn't work out, which was hilarious. You had primed all those people for all those years, and you couldn't even get them to move from like one platform to another, but you say these are your hardcore fans. And then this idiot ain't sat there and shot himself in the fucking hoof numerous times, but mainly when he sat there and called them lazy on the YouTube stream. Was it on YouTube? Yeah, that was on YouTube. I'm pretty confident that was on YouTube. When he called them lazy during the Pokemon Sun and Moon playthrough. Because he couldn't get 400 people to come up on stream. Or whatever the case may be. Maybe that was on Twitch. Nah, I feel like that was on YouTube when he did that nonsense. I think. Don't hold me to that. But either way, you sat there and called people who showed up to your stream every day. At least some of them anyway. You called them fucking lazy. That's amazing. You should be glad that people were willing to come out there to spend time with you anyway. But he had the nerve to call them lazy. And then got the nerve to be butthurt about it because Rich ended up seeing the clip, called him out on fucking Twitter about it, if you want to call that even a call out. And Phil had the nerve to fucking basically be like, oh, I understand Rich was trying to help me and everything, and I can appreciate it, even though that's one of the things he holds over Rich's head on one of the reasons why he don't like him. But, semantics. But he was like, oh, he should have responded to me at a time and when I was in a position to respond back. I was asleep when he made that tweet, and that's unfair. I didn't have a chance to respond. I didn't have a chance to speak my mind or put my side of the story out there. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious that you would say some silliness like that? Is that the reason why he stays up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning every fucking night? Just in case a big streamer or a big YouTuber or a big internet personality decides to call him out? Think about it.
And I'm caring about the game that I'm playing when I really don't. Twitch is all about subscriptions. You gotta subscribe. Get those custom emotes and shit. Subscribe. That's why everyone over there is all about their subs. They don't care about actual games. They don't care about what you put on your stream as long as this is coming into them.
Why would I go back to Twitch, where Twitch TV is literally a business model
based off of begging? I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit here and say...
It's amazing how a lot of these places have given him so many chances and or opportunities, or just gave him a platform in general. And whenever he fucks it up and has to leave, or chooses to leave on his own accord, whatever this case may be, he has to shit on them. He does it for everything. Every fucking place of employment or opportunity or person that he was cool with at any given time, he's shitted on. In some way, shape, or form. He's done it to everybody. And yet has the nerve to get mad when those people respond or when people shit on him. That doesn't make any sense. You've done it to everybody. This is the same asshole, ladies and gentlemen, who sat there outside of that fucking that helicopter company in the parking lot with his fucking girlfriend at the time and shit, and had the nerve to get out of his car and look at that fucking place and rant for a couple of minutes on how they fired him. That's what kind of pathetic piece of shit he was. It was supposed to be a Connecticut send-off bucket list type thing. And this asshole couldn't help but to drive to his old place of employment, in the parking lot, of course. He didn't go up to the door because he's a coward. And say, it's really fucked up that you guys mistreated me and let me go. And now you guys are starting to go out of business and look at and this, that, and the third. Like he had any effect or had any type of added anything to that caused them to downsize or move or whatever. Oh, if they didn't let go of me, then maybe they'd still be in business or whatever. The company still kept moving. The company still kept expanding. You were customer service. Not to shit on people that are in customer service, but he was customer service. They let him go. He was expendable. I don't give a fuck about the fucking ACE certification or whatever. He was expendable. It is what it was. That piece of paper don't mean jack shit. It means something to him, but it doesn't mean anything to anybody else. And to give you the further that example, or that point, look at what he ended up doing with all that knowledge and information and experience later on down the line. He can't improve his YouTube channel. He can't improve his Twitch. This is supposed to be his business, right? And theoretically, it is his business because this is how he makes his money. But he clearly doesn't treat it like a business. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's admitted, especially when he's at his low point, he's admitted multiple times that he was going by the seat of his pants. There is no fucking manual for any of this shit. I was just going as I went, and you know, what did you expect from me? Well, I expect, if you're sitting there paying attention to your peers as much as you were, as much as he does, I would expect you to learn something from that. It's funny how you can sit there and be envious of their money, but you don't actually, you disregard all the time and effort that they put into making that money or furthering their careers or whatever the case may be. This idiot was with Machinima for 6-7 years and had the nerve after he got fired. I mean, theoretically he quit, but whatever. When he got fired, to say, oh, they should have set up collaborations with me and other, you know, big big Machinima partners. They should have brokered those deals. I shouldn't have had to reach out to anybody. They didn't do that for me. Why didn't you ask? And when I mean ask, I mean not why didn't you just ask them? Why didn't you just ask some of those other contributors or contributors? He said at one time that he was in a conversation with Brad and Maximilian about the partnership thing, about the partnership program on Machinima at that time, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? He allegedly, he says this conversation happened, but I'm going to say it's alleged. If that's the case, why didn't you do a collaboration with either one of those guys? Like just some dual comms or some shit. Max was playing Call of Duty back in those days. He played other games too. He's big in the fighting game world. He's someone that you've known him for a long ass time. You guys could have had a couple of online matches with each other. You're willing to do that with Low Tier God, but you're not willing to do that with Maximilian? What about that? Whose fault was it that opportunity didn't flourish and become something? That didn't have anything to do with Machinima. And then he was saying, oh, Machinima never gave me any free games, or they didn't give me free games until the end, or whatever. We'll touch on that later on down the line, but I think that's bullshit too, because there are plenty of videos out there of ex-Machinima partners talking about every couple of months, they would send partners like an email or whatever that had a list of upcoming big titles that were coming out. And you just click off whichever ones that you'd be interested in, and more than likely you would get them. So either Phil was really, really low on the fucking pecking order, or he did get a bunch of those games and he just didn't tell nobody. And keep in mind, even back then, when he was knee-deep in the Machinima money, he was still getting tips and donations behind the scenes to help with games, to help with equipment, to help pay for trips and all that nonsense. Just something to think about. It's something to take into consideration.
Okay. Please buy this shirt. Please subscribe. When do you ever hear me talking like that in a video?
I'd say originally, was it 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when they changed their terms a little bit, I did have an issue. The only issue I have on Twitch is DMCA, because their DMCA stuff is completely broken, just like everyone else on the internet. Their DMCA takedown system is completely broken. But outside of that, everything is fine on Twitch. I'm telling you, on YouTube, the inconsistency of being able to make income because of their policies is far worse than any, oh my god, I have to slightly watch what I say on Twitch. Really, it's that much worse over there, okay? Prepare for the meat. Seriously, if you could shoot Spider-Man webs out of your asshole, would you do it? No, that's disgusting. Limit Vitamins, seriously, we are having a conversation, we're listening to you rant. Because you asked me a question, I answered it. That's a conversation, stupid. Why are you being so negative? Why are you being a dickhead? Seriously, why are you being a dickhead right now on the stream? Everyone's having a good time, enjoying the fun, the conversation, the discussion. You gotta sit here and complain? So it's this simple. If you're not having a good time, either you can leave of your own volition or I'll make you leave. So you make the choice. If you want to leave yourself, or wait a couple minutes and then I'll remove you from the chat. You make your choice. There you go. Why do I demean people who mistype words? Who did I demean that mistyped a word? I misread a word, and I didn't demean anyone. What are you talking about? What is people's problem tonight? Everyone needs to relax. Seriously, everyone needs to just freaking relax. What is going on? Everyone just chill out. Everyone's all uptight tonight. This is supposed to be a nice chill stream. Why are you all uptight? What is going on?
Hey, Darkside Weave, maybe you should not mention fucking strap-ons in my stream, because if you do again, you're probably out of here.
Why can't you just... I thought it was supposed to be a chill stream and everybody should just relax. Why are we taking everything so seriously, dude? He just said that. And yet you're offended by a strap-on? What's the big deal with that? And it doesn't even have to be in the... It doesn't even have to be taken in the context that he may be thinking. What about that snort strap that he used to use when he was... when Panda was living with him? What about that nonsense? That should be just a joke that should be able to... onward and upward. Why are you so uptight about that? Why are you so insecure about that? Oh well.
Anal sex. Oh shit, I checked anal sex for me. And then the girl comes out with this giant King Kong strap on.
This guy's a bitch.
All right, baby, you approved it. Let's do it. Uh-oh. Wait, I meant for you. No. Oh!
Like Bobby, I ate a lot of liver-like foods and got gout. No, I've never eaten liver ever in my life. Not once have I eaten liver. No, I was prone to it. I was hereditarily prone to it. I didn't know it. But my aunt had it and never really told anyone. No one knew that she had it. And then after I got it, my mom started asking around. And my aunt's like, yeah, I've had it my whole life. You're like, what? Like, you never told anyone? No, never told anyone. So no one knew that was in the family. And that we were at high risk for having it. So I never really even known to prepare for it, you know?
Stop. He wouldn't have prepared for it anyway. It doesn't matter. Look at how inept he is financially. Look at how he conducts his relationships and shit. You really think he would have taken the time to curve himself or condition himself to be better about his situation? This motherfucker doesn't bring up shit about moderation or how the world isn't black or white and there's shades of gray or whatever until bad shit happens to him. When it's already too late is when we start having this epiphany, if you will, these moment of clarity and shit like that. First things first, whether this guy had a genetic disposition to having gout or not is incidental to his overall situation. The reason why is he's still going to do what he did. He made all of that money, didn't save jack shit, tried to run around acting like he was a fucking rock star and ate to his fucking heart's content. The guy can't cook. He has no creativity. He doesn't want to learn how to cook. He spent the majority of his time in Connecticut ordering in food, which is the reason why DSP Tries It was as pivotal as it was. He was making hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars in profit. He doesn't know how to cook, so he was able to get a meal out there, right? And more often than not, the shit got delivered. So it worked out. Or he was already going to GameStop or wherever it was he was getting his games. So he would just hit that place on the way back. It was no fuss, really. He can spend his money, make him feel like a big shot. It's an easy meal that he can go ahead and eat and get down his gullet so he can get back to his job playing video games, air quote. And he can fucking do a separate video on it and profit. What more could you ask for if you're a lazy, complacent piece of garbage? It worked out. Now, as it pertains to gout and all that shit, just because he has a genetic disposition, a genetic disposition for it doesn't mean he'll catch it. There are people who have diabetes on both sides of their family, they don't get diabetes. There are people who have had cancer on both sides of their family and they don't get cancer, or they're fortunate enough not to get cancer. Like, how many other people in his family got gout? Yes, his aunt has it. What about, does any of their brothers and sisters have it? Does any of his cousins have it? No, because they didn't eat like fucking slobs. You know what I'm saying? And, excuse me, it's the same idiot who told you guys that he was buff and he used to work out, and then supposedly one day he felt this huge blood vessel in his forehead and he freaked out and he decided to give up exercising. So that wasn't going to help him. He didn't catch gout because he has a genetic disposition to it. He caught gout because he's a fucking asshole and he caught gout. That's what it was. He's a fucking glutton. He's greedy as shit and it came back to haunt him. That's what it was. It's funny how he calls himself the king of hate self-anointed that, and he ended up catching the king's disease, the king's gift, if you will. It's poetic in a lot of ways.
But yeah, it was part of our family history that people in my family have had it. And what it is that your body has a tendency to have an acid imbalance.
You said people in your family have it, but the only person you keep bringing up is your aunt. And you said he even just said when his mother asked around, his aunt said that she had it her whole life. Name off some of the other people who have it too, Phil. Go ahead and further shield yourself by throwing a couple other people out there. You don't have to throw out their first names, that's unnecessary. But go ahead and name their status. How many other uncles have it? How many of your aunts or cousins have it? Does your grandfather or your grandmother have it? He won't do that. He just keeps going back to that one aunt. It was that one person, so she's the one who took all the blame. Just like how he blames his father or his mother for his greasy hair, and the other one for the bad skin, and whoever for the bad back. I'm just saying, if there are so many people in his bloodline who have it, why doesn't he air their asses out? He didn't mind airing out his fucking cousin Melissa's fucking drug addiction, and her uncle and her parents, his uncle and his aunt, and their drug addiction. He didn't mind laying all that shit out, but he doesn't want to name nobody else who has gout in his family? Okay.
If you eat too much of certain things, for example, red meat, like pork or beef, or shellfish, or what was the other thing? There's like 3 like major things that are the big no-nos that you're not supposed to have. I forget what the third one is, but I usually don't eat those things anymore that you're not supposed to have, or if I do, they're in limited quantities.
Wait. as he takes a sip of his Toxitola juice. There's all these things that if you have gout, you're not supposed to have, and I don't have them. Well, I have them, but I have them in limited quantities. That's the reason why he would have caught gout, even if he knew he was prone to it. Because at the end of the fucking day, Dark Side Phil is going to do what Dark Side Phil wants. Does anybody not remember that New Year's Day that Catherine had made like burgers, or, well, they were sliders, really. They were like ground beef sliders or whatever. She saw the recipe somewhere and she decided to make it and shit. And Phil said, oh, it looked really good, and he fucking gorged himself on it, which I believe he did. I actually believe him when he said that. But when he came back to the second stream, he was all sluggish. He was talking about, he may have had like a pain in his leg or something. He ate way too much. He shouldn't have eaten it. He shouldn't have eaten as much of it. But it's okay every once in a while. But that whole stream, he was sluggish. And not sluggish like the itis. Like sluggish like, yeah, he was in pain and his gout was probably flaring up. At the end of the day, he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants to, and he'll just put the pain and suffering on somebody else. Well, he's going to deal with it. But then he'll just have other people compensated for it. It is what it is. So him being proactive with anything just doesn't exist. Which only furthers, why do you really think he wants to go to a doctor and be diagnosed for anything? Even if he knows what the restrictions are, he more than likely isn't going to follow them. And he definitely doesn't want that information getting out. And Phil has a fucking huge mouth. He needs something to talk about. And anything that could probably put him in a sympathetic light, he's going to use it. You know what I'm saying? So it would make even more sense for him not to go out there, because he don't want to hear that. But more importantly, he don't want to have to use that as another trump card. Not even a trump card. He doesn't want to have to use that as another card in his sympathy deck to get more money from people. I don't know.
Like, for example, I had some beef and pork on Tuesday because we ordered dim sum from this restaurant. So I had it then. Now I don't have it again until Saturday when we order this pizza. We're gonna order for DSP tries it. I'll have some then, and then I won't have it again until like next Tuesday. So I only have it like once or twice a week in very limited quantities, and I'm good to go.
But you don't need all that. Matter of fact, if you know you shouldn't be eating all that, you should be taking in as much chicken and vegetables or whatever alternative turkey as you can. But he sat there and admitted to you that, yeah, I'm not supposed to be eating all this, but I'm eating it once a week anyway. And don't be wrong, you could make the argument, because he certainly tried to, oh, well, if he's doing it in moderation, so on and so forth. He already has the infliction. And there are plenty of alternatives. He doesn't have to eat it, he wants to eat it. That's all I'm saying.
I knew that I had gout. I was constantly eating whatever I want. Red meat, pork, every pop, shellfish, constant. I was just eating it whenever I wanted. I had no idea. Can I drink beer? Does that flare up too? The way it works is, alright, you can drink, but you have to limit what you drink. Like, for example, if you're gonna eat a lot of red meat, you can't drink. You can't, the drinking doesn't necessarily cause it, but the drinking will greatly accentuate the symptoms you have of it. So if I got a gout flare-up and then I drank, oh my god, I'd be like in insane, excruciating pain, because it just makes it feel way worse, okay? But the drinking itself does not cause it. It's actually the food that raises the acid levels, but the drinking exacerbates the problem. Supposedly, that's what when I read up on it many years ago.
Someone needs to tell Quarter Pounder to lay off that fucking box of wine. But at the end of the day, he's gonna do what he wants anyway. He's in the interview that him and Phil had. I think he says he has gout in his big toe, and he says that shit feels like the fucking worst. So he might have been using drinking to try to mitigate that, and it only made it worse. It's kind of hilarious in a lot of ways, to be honest. It's kind of hilarious. That's what him and Phil should do. Quarter Pounder and fucking DSP should have a stream where they talk about gout. I mean, they have fucking streams and podcasts. It should be a podcast, I should say. They have podcasts out there to talk about everything else. You might as well do that.
That's exactly why I don't eat much red meat anymore. That's why whenever you ask me what I'm having for dinner, it's usually either turkey or chicken, because I'm not supposed to eat the red meat. If I eat too much of it, man.
He just said... Wait, he said that's the reason why I don't eat much red meat anymore, even though he said that he had dim sum with pork and red meat, and it was beef and pork, and he's going to have it for the DSP Tries It that's coming up later on in that week, and he's going to have it the following day off. Wow. Whatever. I get what he means, but whatever.
Seriously, it's not worth it. Just to give you guys some perspective, it usually happens, it starts in your big toe, and then it goes the entire side of your foot, sometimes all the way down into the ankle, and it swells up huge like a balloon, and you get insanely excruciating shooting pain if you even try to wiggle your toe. And then if you try to walk around, it's like, oh my god, it's like, dude, what the fuck's going on? It feels like someone's stabbing you with a knife. It feels insanely bad. It's just some of the worst pain I've ever had in my life. I would not wish that on anyone. I seriously wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Thanks, guys, for chilling with me tonight. About half an hour left on the stream, just so everybody
But he didn't mind wishing failure on all those different companies that left him behind, right? Or that let him go, or that fired him, or whatever. He didn't mind wishing failure on all those people and on all those companies, but he wouldn't wish gout on anybody. Sure, that's really believable.
If anyone would like to contribute, please do by all means. I do need support with tips this week a lot until I get paid by Twitch in the middle of the month. Thank you for your support so far today. It's been greatly appreciated and it's helping, so thank you.
Oh, here we go again, the same idiot. You know, it does have to say that, obviously, people must think my wife is attractive, considering the fact that the trolls talk about her making an OnlyFans so much because they're fucking sickos.
That is absolutely disgusting. Oh my god. It's terrible.
But it's obvious they obviously want to see more of her, if you know what I mean. Or else they wouldn't be talking about her making an OnlyFans.
This is the same person, though, who tried to sell us on his wife doing playthroughs together, and on him and his wife doing a cooking show that he couldn't even get past. He couldn't get over with his own audience. His own audience was like, no, we don't want that. To protect him and her. And yet he was disappointed with them because they wouldn't get on board with this. This is the same individual, right, who, let's be honest, he's already had his version of an Only Snorts, if you will. Or, sorry, OnlyFans, whatever. He's had his own version of an Only Snorts. When he used to do those fucking $50, was it $50? Because $20 you could get on Patreon, for $20 you could get a message. You could get a message answered on Ask the King. A question, I should say, answered on Ask the King. $30, I can't remember. But I think for $50, you could get a personalized video. So he was already doing Only Snorts before OnlyFans was even a thing. It didn't even exist, and he was already doing that. Secondly, for those who are in the know, if you've seen what Catherine's sister does on fucking Twitter and shit, or if you've seen any of the shit that's been passed around of her Instagram, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I could see why they'd kind of put two and two together, to be honest. Even though Catherine's sister is fucking out there. Speak to James Lester about that. He'll tell you. Like, you know what I'm saying? He followed that kind of close at one time or another. That chick is out there. That's just some exceptional, amazing shit, to be honest. But the point being, the overall point being, is that he's already tried to exploit Catherine for profit. Which is even more ironic, because he wouldn't let her stream, or he wouldn't let her make YouTube videos anymore. But he had no problem with her participating on his stream and on his YouTube videos. Think about that.
Constantly. Which is hilarious because you guys barely seen any of her at all. Like, she's only been on stream, what, 2-3 times, and showed you like one picture of her ever? Something like that? This Everyone wants a song from Titanic.
Yeah,
oh my
no,
god.
There wasn't one picture. There was like 2 pictures of her. There was at least 1 or 2 pictures of her when she first got there. No, I'm right. There was 1 or 2 pictures when she first got there. And then they took like a couple of couples pictures in their backyard. And then there's the wedding pictures. And that's probably it. Outside of the picture of him in the mall that someone caught. And the pictures that he posted on Instagram when they were walking through the IKEA. But but only like 1 picture ever? Whatever. Make of that what you will. That fucking strange upspeak that he does in that.
Near, far, wherever you are.
Nah, I need to bring that. I need to bring that back. I want you to see the nightmare, which is the fucking hoof.
3 times and showed you like 1 picture of her ever? Something like that? This Everyone wants a song from Titanic. Oh my god.
Near, far, wherever
There we go.
you.
Now, besides that obvious nightmare fuel, try to bear with me with this for a minute. One, his voice is fucking shit. His voice is horrible. Because I remember hearing the original time he did this, and it was bad, but it didn't sound this bad. Like, his voice is, the singing was obviously horrible, but his voice has progressively gotten worse. And this goes back to something that a bunch of detractors have said over the years, of his dumbass throwing his voice at the fucking wall, despite the fact that the mic is right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's his problem. That's his issue. And it's come back to haunt him, because he used to do that at fucking FGC tournaments too. Like, I don't know. He craves attention in the worst possible way, and he'll sacrifice things that don't need to be sacrificed to make it happen. It's amazing. It really is. I don't know what this whole fixation he has on singing, though. Maybe it's because of going to that Catholic school for all these years. I don't know. But he's really bad at it, but yet he's compelled to keep doing it. Oh well. Anyway, just fear the gouty hoof. That's the whole point of the screenshot.
My heart will go on. Why does the heart go on? Yes. We'll stay forever this way. Yes. Yes. Now you've done it. Oh my god, sing the song from Titanic. Near, far, wherever you are. How does the heart go on?
Number 86 will get another shot. Struck out swinging his last time.
Fear. My face looks like a horse, and I sleep with an old dude.
That's that sneak dissing that he does every once in a while that even I wonder if he is coherent when he's doing it or not. I don't know. Maybe he might have been drunk that night. There was an MLB stream, because you could hear the announcer in the background. And boy, oh boy, did we get some fucking salty gin-fueled takes during those things. We got the fucking Tevin rant, got a bunch of detractor rants. He went off. I think he had a John and Howard rant during one of those too. He was just angry during that chill streams, or those chill streams, I should say. Wow. Fucking wow. Now back to the original point. I'm sorry. He was yet again, his singing's trash. It's utter garbage. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. My singing's garbage too. I'm Luther Vandross in the shower though. But my singing's garbage as well. But his voice just wasn't as bad when he originally did it as it is now. His voice is horrible. And God forbid, ladies and gentlemen, that this asshole loses his fucking voice for like a week. Or 10 days, or 2 weeks, or whatever. If that ever happens, he's fucked. Because what's he going to do? We're going to go back to fucking the raw playthroughs with no commentary? Is that what he's going to end up doing? He's going to stream with no sound? He's just going to put up his little sound box whenever something funny happens? Think about that. Just think about that. He's going to be hurting that week, or that 2 weeks, or whatever, however long it's going to be. He's going to be hurting, and we'll hear about it for months on end.
Oh, God, can I sing Toxic from Britney Spears? What is that? How does that one go? The taste on your lips, I want to know. I'm toxic, I'm slipping under. I know that you're toxic. Now, I don't really know that song. I only know what I heard it like a few times on the radio. I don't really know the lyrics or anything. The taste on your lips, I want it all. I'm toxic, I'm slipping under. You know that you're toxic. Ah, taste on your lips is paradise. But I know that you're toxic. Unleash the beast. Toxic. Oh.
Spartan Kingster, can you sing Whitney Houston? I always will love you.
And I will always love you. I will always love you. There you go.
You wanted it. You wanted it. You got it. You get what you asked for.
Wow, that singer has the voice of an angel.
Now everyone wants me to sing a million things. See, this is only gonna happen on this stream. I mean that. Like this stream, the whole point of the Yakuza stream is just to grind. Okay, until I get to level 99, then I can go take on the final tower. So this stream once a week. If you guys want to do silly shit like that, come to the Yakuza stream once a week, and this is where we'll do it. When I'm doing Street Fighter, when I'm doing other playthroughs that have narrative and story and actual gameplay I need to focus in on and concentrate on, I'm not going to do this. I'll do this kind of silly stuff during MLB. I'll do this kind of silly stuff during streams that are considered chill streams like Yakuza. So if you like this, come back next week.
And support the goddamn stream. Support the goddamn stream if you want to see more of this, okay? There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a small break and then we'll go into video number 3. Yikes. I'll see you guys in just a second. Yikes. This thing was horrible. Oh my god.
Go for it.
What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Nicholas cheered. Says, how can you say the internet was not toxic back then when trolling has always been a part of internet culture? Didn't you admittedly troll on SRK forums for fighting game stuff? Yes, but allow me to elaborate shortly. I'm not going to go crazy long on this. Trolling back...
Yes, please do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the third video that will make up our broadcast, brought to us by Snort Burnell, DSP, ranting about modern trolling. You are more of a loser than the LOLCOWS. I'm sorry, that was completely unprofessional. You are more of a loser than the LOLCOWS. And let's see, this last part is Gout versus ear infection. This was published on February 6th of 2021. The link will be down in the description. Yikes. All right, let's bring that back. Let's bring it back to right there. That's right there. That'll work.
Good to me.
Nicholas cheered. It says, how can you say the internet was not toxic back then when trolling has always been a part of internet culture? Didn't you admittedly troll on SRK forums for fighting game stuff? Yes, but allow me to elaborate shortly. I'm not going to go crazy long on this. Trolling back then was like, oh, look, someone said something wrong in a post, and you troll them for a few weeks, and, you know, you let it go. For example, this guy said that he was going to have a cookout, and he was going to invite his gamers over on SRK to come play Street Fighter during the cookout. I'm not kidding you, he spelled cookout cockout. So he says, come over to my country cockout, and we're all going to play games and have a cockout. And everyone made fun of this guy endlessly for, like, months on end, laughing at him because he made a spelling error, okay? But you see what I mean? And that's, like, it was stupid trolling like that. Back then, it wasn't, oh, I don't like this guy, so let's dox him. Let's find his information, post it publicly on the internet, have people harass him in real life, have people send him death threats, destroy his livelihood by making false copyright claims against his business on the internet. None of that used to exist. None of it. Even if you remember at the very beginning of my existence on YouTube.
Wait, all right, let me jump in because I'm just, his bullshit's already getting kind of crazy. Okay, the whole thing with the cookout nonsense, it sounds kind of stupid, to be honest. That sounds like a really, like, weeks on end? A couple of days maybe, but weeks? You guys had to draw on that for weeks. Okay, whatever. That sounds kind of lame, to be honest with you. It's not like fucking Phil when he called Catherine his mother. Like, that shit is something you can draw out for weeks and months even, because it's weird when he first did it, and everybody let him slide on it when he first did it. But then that second time, it was like, hey Phil, try to keep the fetishes in the bedroom, bro. That's all I'm saying. If you miss your mother that much, just call her. Don't call Catherine your mom. Anyway, semantics. But this guy wants to talk about, oh, it was reduced to that and that's it. Okay, let's talk about how you try to troll fucking players on SRK, and then when shit didn't go your way because that person would just blow your ass out the fucking water, you went ahead and we're talking about, okay, let's fight then. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no problems with me, bro. What about that? Running the violence for the first over the smallest little bullshit. Or let's talk about what you did to them West Coast boys. How you ain't sat there and fucking developed a whole website to fucking troll them and shit. When you weren't even on most of those dudes' radars. You weren't nearly as good, if ever, compared to any of them. Like, they end up using the website against you, essentially, and laughed at you over it because of how pathetic it was. Even though, ironically enough, you said that and he said this in 2020, when shit came out about all the sexual misconduct and all the bullshit that was going on in the Smash community and the Twitch community and then the fighting game community, or the FGC in general, you said that you heard rumors about all that bullshit with Mr. Wiz from years ago, and nobody said nothing, but then you were quick to speak out against it then. So it was okay to allow pedophilic type shit go on back in the day, right? Because, you know, we all knew it, but we just kind of laughed it out and trolled about it, right? But then when that shit comes out damn near 20 years later, now all of a sudden you want to do outrage? Was that trolling, ladies and gentlemen? Was that what the situation is? This guy, Phil, knowingly knew that there's a pedophile out there doing shit to fucking young kids or taking advantage of them and didn't say nothing about it. He said he heard the rumors. He heard innuendos. He didn't, and a lot of people were talking about it, but he didn't have anything to say about that? Trolling though, right? So let's review real fast. Challenging people to fights because you try to troll them on the fucking boards and you got your fucking ass blown out, and not in the way that he probably wanted. Which is fucking hilarious. Actually made a website to troll West Coast players because they had a website where I guess that's how the West Coast was kind of communicating with each other, which seems kind of weird because SRK was out around that time, I think, but whatever. But because these West Coast boys had a site, he felt that he needed to make a site trolling them. He put all the time and effort and whatever money it cost to develop a site, a shitty site, by the way, to fucking troll West Coast players. Okay, whatever. And then you knew that there was allegedly you knew there was a pedo running around doing shit and you didn't have nothing to say about it. That sounds about right. That sounds about square, Phil. That sounds about square.
Remember?
DSP cult leader?
Who was basically a fan of mine, who I guess at some point got, I don't know, he twisted.
Yeah, actually,
his head
I had just gone by that dude's channel. Actually, it's still there. That dude predicted a lot of shit. He predicted a lot of shit that ended up, that was clearly visible at that time, or shit that eventually ended up coming to pass. Like, they knew what they were fucking doing. They really did. It's a shame too they got shitted on as hard as they did, but at the end of the day, essentially they got martyred, because it gives you an idea of how much control Phil had over people at the time. When you look at the likes and dislikes, and you look at some of the comments there and shit, where fucking dudes like, that's not how Phil is, you're projecting, or that's not how Phil's really like, you're taking it out of context. You see the pignosis in full fucking effect back then. And actually, you guys should go to the DSP Cult Leader channel. Matter of fact, you should definitely look at the comment section, because some of you guys would know some of those people in there and whatnot. Some of those people who watch the Tractor content now was back there towards the beginning and watching some of that stuff. You should really check it out if you ever get a chance. But he, him, they, whoever, they knew what they were talking about. They were bang on with a lot of that shit. And like I said, they took a lot of shit for it. But I think those are one of those situations we should be thankful for. That and the old like Arnos videos and shit. Even early Snort Burnell videos. Snort Burnell took a lot of shit early on. And it's a good thing that they persevered. Because, I mean, if not, you know what I'm saying? Look at the pressure. Look at the type of pressure Phil's under now. Just imagine if Phil would have had his way. History could have been different if all those people quit early.
Me. And so he started making all these videos about how DSP's a cult leader leading children down the path of the Pied Piper and weird shit like that. Yeah, that all existed over a decade ago. Okay? Here's the difference. It was just stupid shit. People just laughed at it and said, ha, okay, it's fringe weirdo shit. We're still going to enjoy the content. When I first was on YouTube, the vast majority of people who were on YouTube watching my content were positive people. They weren't there to ironically make fun of you and dissect your content and say it sucks and tear you apart. They were there to say, wow, here's a free content. Look, someone's actually playing the new Dead Space game. And here's some really scary moments, and here's his reaction to it.
It's a free content. It was a free platform. YouTube didn't charge you for nothing. Like, he's starting to sound like Rich from Review Tech USA when he said that bullshit where, oh, I spent the first couple years doing this for free. Okay, and? No one owes you nothing. What's your point? Like, really, what's your point? I never understood that argument. Like, or that claim, or whatever the case may be. You posted up there because you wanted to. And you clearly got something out of it if you kept doing it for this long. End of story. Just in case you guys don't know where that Rich part, the Rich from Review Tech USA part came from, it was when YouTube changed their terms of service where you needed, what was it, like 1,000 subs and like 4,000 like watch hours or whatever. And there were some people that felt a certain type of way about that, because prior to that, anybody could essentially start a channel and monetize. And Rich would decide to put his 2 fucking cents in and say that, you know, hey, you guys don't realize how hard it was to build an audience and all that. And that's understandable, so I can't shit on him for that. I really can't. But coming up with the argument that, oh, I did this for numerous years and I didn't get paid for it. I mean, 1, you had a job, so that means it was a hobby. 2, yet again, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I'm saying? You probably, yeah, you did it for free for all those years, but you probably could have reached out to early on. You could have reached out for sponsorships or some type of compensation if that was a thing. It is what it is. You clearly watched someone else do this, so you could come up with it, so you could do what you eventually end up doing. So you just didn't put a lot of time into it. Or maybe it just wasn't something that you were thinking about at that time. But you don't get to throw that out there as a shield either. I don't think, anyway. You don't get to do that.
Cool. Now I know what this game's all about. Maybe I'll go check it out for myself. And I like being able to watch someone play a horror game, because normally I'd be too scared or spooked out to play it myself. But watching someone else play it makes it more livable or more tolerable. And maybe now I'll go get the game for myself. That was the attitude. Everything was like a positive attitude. Oh my god, someone's doing Street Fighter 4? This is cool. This guy's not even like a pro player, but he's having fun with it. Look, he's joking. Look at the commentary. He's being silly and stupid over the top.
Wait,
he's swearing and everything.
You said in your channel trailer, or you said it in a video, that you were a former pro fighting game player. Whatever. Whatever.
This is funny, man. Now I want to play Street Fighter 4. That was the attitude back then. It wasn't everyone has to try to top everyone. Everyone's trying to one-up everyone. Everyone's trying to talk shit to everyone. Everyone's trying to insult everyone and say everything they do sucks and then come and destroy their lives. None of that existed back then.
The lies part is subjective, but you did that. He talked shit about a bunch of different streamers and YouTubers at that time. He even took shots at dudes in the FGC community at that time, too. Because he had a platform to do it. So what the fuck's he talking about? He's just mad because no one took him seriously enough that any real thing happened. You know what I'm saying? On any type of level. But he did those exact same things. He went after other content creators. He said what they did was stupid or fucking meme-ish or whatever. Maybe not meme-ish, but it was certainly stupid. And it didn't deserve the type of attention that it was getting. And that they were only doing it for money and profit. I know all of you have heard this at one time or another. Or at least some of you have, I should say. So, what's the point? Like, he just sounds like a hypocrite saying all that. Yes, but yes, it didn't go into the further shit about doxing and all that extra nonsense. But Jesus Christ, he wasn't exactly helping people's reputation saying the shit that he was saying. And even though it didn't hurt them in the larger scope of it, excuse me, if you really think about it, when he shitted on people like PewDiePie, Markiplier, and iJustine and Tobuscus, he theoretically took a view from them. Now, it doesn't really matter what their viewership was at the time and so on and so forth. It's not fair to say that, oh, one viewer is no big deal, they're a peon. The point is that he influenced someone from not watching someone else, and he did it for his own profit. Why the fuck is he mad that that happens to him now? He did at first. If you want to play with this pathetic little argument he likes to do, he did that to people too. iJustine never said nothing about don't watch fucking Darkside Phil. Neither did Toby Turner. Neither did Mitch Dyer. Neither did Alpha Omega Sin. These people didn't attack him on some silly shit like that would cause him not to get views. Now, with the Alpha Omega Sin thing, could he have used a better example to represent rage quitters? Sure. That doesn't mean that his example wasn't correct. Sorry. Hashtag not sorry, don't at me. You know what I'm saying? He could have used Low Tier God. He was a much better example of rage quitting in Street Fighter V at that time. But that doesn't mean Phil wasn't a good example. And Phil knew it. That's why he got so mad at it. It's not just fighting games. It's any game. Phil is a rage quitter. Or wage quitter. Or however you want to put it.
That's what I mean between the trolling back then and the trolling today. Trolling today is like, oh, as long as I can ruin someone's life anonymously and get away with it, that's fine. That's acceptable. No, it's not. No, it's fucking not. Sick fucks think that way, not normal people. And let me tell you guys something, alright? Just to give you some perspective here. In the last year or two, some people outside of the internet, in real life, who I've dealt with, I had to explain to them who I am, what I do for a living, and the extent that trolling has negatively impacted my life, alright? These are not people who are up on live streaming or YouTube. They know of it, but they don't follow it actively. These are normal people who have lives outside of the internet, and that's what they focus on, not sitting on the internet all day, okay? When I actually showed them the stuff that's happened to me over the years, when I showed them the attitudes and the fucked up things that have happened to me, when I showed them entire websites dedicated to shitting on me, they were appalled. Not shocked, not surprised, appalled.
Phil, the infamous multi-time masturbator.
Did you tell them about some of the mishaps that you had over the years that may have caused some of that? And even if it didn't directly cause it, clearly mishaps of things that you shouldn't have done and that you half-assed try to apologize for later on down the line? Did you ever bring any of that up? No, you sat there like a salty bitch and played victim. We, look at what they're doing to me.
That's right. He has masturbated a ridiculous amount of times, at least 3 on stream, and he's done it in front of thousands of children, and, he's a horrible human being.
Real life people who don't live on the fucking internet with twisted minds, when they see the extent that these people troll in the modern day, they can't believe it. They actually thought I was kidding. They thought that I was showing them fake stuff. I was like, no, this is real. This is real. You can go see for yourself. This is real. They were what? There are people out there with no lives, nothing to do with their time, but sit on the internet and hate on someone all day long. Yes. And they were like,
But
what
that's
the
what
fuck?
you do, though. You sit online playing games poorly, and you shit on developers. You shit on publishers, developers, other streamers, other YouTubers. That's all you do. You take bullshit pop shots at Wings of Redemption and shit. You try to shit on all the shortcomings of fucking PewDiePie and Markiplier. You do the exact same fucking thing. What's the difference? Oh, he does it for profit. And he's doing it poorly. And more importantly, he's not even making a profit off it. Begging's what pays the bills. And what essentially is what, saving the day. Not the actual content, not his actual air quotes job. That's not doing anything. It's the begging is what actually carries the day. The shit talking and everything is what brings in the gold dust. What fuels the drama. His gameplay is inconsequential. It's incidental. It's not needed. He could essentially do a 4-hour stream talking every single day, and he would make the same amount of money, if not more. To be honest, you could cut gameplay out. He hides behind being a gamer because he needs something to be associated with, and gaming is still a very big thing. But that doesn't mean that gamers don't have shortcomings. As in our previous example, when it pertains to the FGC and Twitch and all that bullshit, they're people too. The amount of people that follow you or the amount of money you get doesn't exclude you from whether you're a bad person or a good person or whatever the case may be. You're still a person, and anybody's capable of doing anything. End of story. End of fucking story. And the fact that you have someone has the nerve to talk about trolling and yet has gone out of their way to do fucked up malicious shit to people himself, under the predisposition or under the what's the word I'm looking for? Under the sentiment that, oh well, they did something to me first. Oh, so because let me give you an example. Because fucking Pro Jared made an offhanded tweet about you 3 years ago, and because he was more successful than you at a Screw Attack convention 5 years ago, that justified you going out there and giving your 2 cents and trying to ride a bunch of these anti-Pro Jared tweets to try to gain your own popularity, which led to the 7 years of slander stream, which you were going to debunk everything, which you didn't debunk jack shit because you didn't have evidence. And then when people actually heard his side of the story, and then shit really started to come out, then all of a sudden you ain't left all that alone. If you really felt what you felt about PewDiePie, about Markiplier, if you really felt the way you felt about Pro Jared, you would have kept the heat on his ass. But he didn't, because it wasn't popular to shit on Pro Jared no more. So he had his little viral tweets, and then he went ahead and scurried under whatever little rat infested fucking roach nest that he ain't came up and out of. Haven't said shit since. It's real funny how that's a thing. But he's mad that people comment on the dumb shit that he does. Well, 1, you did it, and 2, you did so much of it. And you keep doing it, to be honest. And it's funny because Phil says, people have tried to cancel me for years and I'm still hearing this bullshit. Okay, so you have a fellow content creator who's being shit on pretty heavily and was trying to get canceled. And we didn't have the full details yet because, it's the internet. Everybody goes off the hip. You could have given him the benefit of the doubt, and you didn't. You decided to jump on the hate train too. And then when people started to get the facts, you ain't sat there and stepped right back into the shadows. And then had the nerve to sit there and say, I waited for fucking 3 years for this. He really waited 5. But he sat back and he waited 3 years and bided his time until Pro Jared fucked up. Like the gouty viper that he is. He sat there for 3 fucking years praying that Pro Jared would fuck up so he could dunk on him. Think about that.
Wrong with people? Well, there's just too many people on planet Earth. It's that simple. There's too many people on planet Earth, and there's not enough out there for everyone to have a meaningful life. So you've got people who just sit on the internet.
So people need to die so people don't troll each other? What? There are too many people on the planet. should we start euthanizing people? Is that what the term is? And whatnot? Is that what we should just start mass exterminations? Oh. Well, let's bring that back. I might have heard that wrong. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm an asshole. It is what it is. Too many people. That's where we're going to try to pick up from. Here, let me bring it back a little bit further just so I don't have to play it multiple times, because you know me. I'm a fuck up when it comes to stuff like this.
Hate on someone all day long. Yes. And they were like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Well, there's just too many people on planet Earth. It's that simple. There's too many people on planet Earth, and there's not enough out there for everyone to have a meaningful life. So you've got people who just sit on the internet shitting on people all day, and that's the existence that they live. There's just nothing else for them to do with their lives. It's that sad. You know? And then when they say that, oh my god, well, now I see where you're coming from and what you're saying, now this, you know, it's messed up, but that's what I mean. 10 years ago, none of this stuff happened. None of it. Absolutely none of it. It's very different today compared to how it used to be. Absolutely. By the way, why the fuck are people spamming the chat with this shit? Are you stupid? Do you want to get permanently banned? What are you fucking doing that for?
I mean, there's too many people on the planet anyway, so why don't you just go out and ban them? I mean, you're essentially saying that you're essentially saying that people kind of need to die because there's too many of us around. So why the fuck would you even care? Why would banning people be a threat after you? How do you follow up? Hey, there's too many of us around and people need to go. Like, they need to go permanently. And then try to follow that up with, oh, I don't understand why all this dumb shit's happening in my fucking chat. Do you guys want to get banned? So it's okay to have a bunch of people who don't have any real purpose or anything sitting there watching your streams, giving you money day in, day out. But for those people who fucking troll you, or for those people who don't like you, they should probably die because there's too many of them around and they don't have meaningful lives. Huh? How does that work exactly? Like, how does that a thing? And you talk about having a meaningful life. How meaningful is your life? To be honest. Because people with meaningful lives don't sit there and say there's too many people around. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't imply, you know what I'm saying, that, hey, maybe we need to thin out the herd so everybody has something to do. Like, people who have meaningful lives don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's being reasonable. You can have as many people who hate you as you want. You should never wish anything bad on those people. An opinion is an opinion. When they start taking that shit too far, where they're starting to throw threats, or they're trying to bring that shit to your doorstep or whatever, then you handle that accordingly. But you shouldn't wish death or any harm or anything on those people. Just because they're against you or because they don't like you. Well, let's continue.
You obviously know you can't do that, and if you do it, you're out of here. I'm gonna permanently ban you myself. I'm not fucking around. If I see it one more time, you're out of here. I don't even care who it is. So you better watch out, even if you're a regular. You're gonna spam my fucking chat. I'm gonna kick you right in your fucking ass. Being a little bitch and spamming my chat, fucking idiot.
I'm going right back to violence, just like in the FGC. And then, remember, he was the one that was in the corner or hiding in the bathroom and whatnot, while other people had to put their well-being in jeopardy to try to talk his ass out of a situation. Even though Phil was the one on SRK or on these boards trolling dude and basically challenged these people to fights. Keep that in mind too. Keep in mind that's a thing. That the majority of those fights that he went ahead and he threw out at people, someone else had to step in and get him out of it. Think about that. Or if it had to be squashed out, it had to be squashed out in a way that didn't make him look like the sniveling little coward that he is. Keep that in mind too.
I think I'm not going to see it. Okay. Anyway, let's continue on. Down Anonymous Charity said, I know Papa John's on the menu for DSP Tries It. Fans were hoping you pick up a garden salad while you're there, turning it into a twofer. I'm not eating a garden salad from fucking Papa John's. Are you out of your mind? The last time I had a fast food salad, I shot liquid shit for 2 days. No way I'm doing that.
I love the red meat.
He's talking about the Wendy's salad, but what this idiot doesn't tell you is he actually tried it. He did it twice. He had one at his old condo in Connecticut, and then he had one out here in Washington. The one in Connecticut came with like a, if I remember correctly, it came with like a bowl of like Wendy's chili and whatnot. And then the second one was like a Southwest barbecue like type salad, and then it came with a side of barbecue sauce. And this tard sat there and looked at Leanna and was like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. They gave me a pack of barbecue sauce, but then they gave me this dressing that has like barbecue sauce in it. That's just too much barbecue sauce. What am I supposed to use? This idiot looked dead down the fucking barrel of that camera and actually had the nerve to say that. Because that's what kind of special individual he is.
Roosh has resubscribed for 2 months in a row. Thank you, Roosh. And he says, LOLCOWS. Yes. You want to honestly know the truth of the matter when it comes to LOLCOWS? As sad and pathetic you might say the life of a LOLCOW is, it's the people who obsess over the LOLCOWs who have the worst lives. Someone who just can't stop thinking about someone over the internet and obsessing on them and doing the most disgusting things and saying the most disgusting things about them, trying to actively ruin their lives, making up conspiracy theories about them constantly. Those are the real fucked up losers. I'm not saying my life has been peachy nice over the last decade and there's no reason to make fun of me. That's completely false. But what I'm saying is, anyone who obsesses over me, or any LOLCOW for that matter, and just constantly talks about them and can't stop, that is your existence. That's how you get your pleasure, by trying to make fun of someone else whose life wasn't perfect. You're a loser. You're far worse than the person.
Well, first off, no one's life is perfect. No one here's the thing, Tard. You didn't have to put your life out for public display. You chose to do that. And you chose to do it for profit. That's the first thing. Is some of the trolling and shit that's done on Phil a bit excessive? Sure, but that can be said for any LOLCOW. But for the people who point and laugh, or the people who observe and can't look away, like the proverbial trash fire, like the proverbial train wreck that it is, at the end of the day, he put himself out there to be entertainment. Okay, so people are sitting there watching the entertainment. The only difference is he's not able to profit off it the way he wants, and more importantly, instead of him entertaining, he's become the entertainment. Like, seeing him fuck up is the entertainment. Because what he does is lazy and useless anyway. And that's what he's mad about. That's what all LOLCOWs are mad about. You know what I'm saying? They went from trying to be, they wanted to be entertainers. They wanted to be looked up to. They wanted to be respected, to becoming the entertainment. That's what it is. And that's what they all hate. And at the end of the day, most of them did it for profit. So what's the problem? The show must go on. None of you guys have a job. You guys don't have careers. You don't have discernible skills. You know what I'm saying? So this is all you can do because you put yourself in a position to basically make this all you could do. End of story. Now, like I said, as it pertains to people taking it too far, sure, that can be said for any community and so on and so forth. Make of that what you will. But it's not like Phil didn't bring this on himself. It's not like Wings didn't bring it on themselves. It's not like Low Tier God didn't bring them on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Chris Chan and keep going down the list. You know what I'm saying? No one got hit for no reason. Someone put themselves out there. Someone went ahead and said, you know, I smacked him. I dare you to smack me back. And someone smacked him back. At the end of the day, you chose to be an asshole. You chose to treat people like shit and do it publicly. You chose to exploit every aspect of your life for profit. People are going to have something to say about that. And that's the thing that no LOLCOW, for at least in my observation, has ever come to the realization about. For every, let's say, 10 or 15 people who decide to tune out and go on with something else, another 30 people will come in to see the proverbial monkey, you know what I'm saying, drink its own piss and fling its own feces at another monkey. It is what it is. Phil likes going to petting zoos. He should understand what it's like. That's all he is. He's in a human zoo, which is a thing, by the way, and not in the way you would think, and it's certainly not funny. But I'll let you guys look that up for yourselves if you really want to look into it, or at least what it was. So that's the thing, and that's the reality of it all. No one's saying that it's just. No one's saying it's fair. But if you put yourself out there, what did you expect? And Phil was one of these people who had like a power complex over that shit. Like he wasn't that he wanted people's attention. He wanted their money too. But then he wanted them to be emotionally invested in him. He used people to prop himself up. He wanted to be strong. He wanted to be powerful. He wanted recognition in a way that he couldn't get in IRL and he couldn't get in the FGC. So he got it through this. I mean, Jesus Christ, all the women that he's probably ever known from a relationship standpoint, he ended up getting through this, through YouTube or Twitch or both. He's made the most money that he's ever made in his life through YouTube or Twitch or both. He's probably been able to get his opinions and his reach out to more people than he ever could in IRL, and it was through what? YouTube and Twitch. It's all he has. And this is all he's done for over a decade. You're the one who said that before YouTube, you felt like a loser, you felt like you didn't matter. He's on record for saying all these things. He felt like a loser, he felt like he didn't matter. He didn't feel like people, looked at him for his greatness or what he could do. He felt like people didn't take him seriously. He didn't feel like people valued him because he didn't value himself until YouTube. So who's a loser again? Just out of curiosity.
Fun of. You're the one who has no fucking life. And if we actually took that website that focuses on LOLCOWS and actually turned it on its own fucking users, that website would be infinitely more funny.
Oh, wow. We're shouting out fucking Kiwi Farms? Really? Okay, let's play with that. Let's all go to the farms for a minute. So you want to sit here and shit on Kiwi Farms, yet Kiwi Farms ain't pulled your ass out of the fucking ringer a couple different times. Most recently was with that bankruptcy filing. If it wasn't for them and Detractor Twitter pointing out that bullshit, and Reddit to an extent, if it wasn't for them to point out the fucking bullshit on there, then you wouldn't have gotten away with what you got away with. And the majority of the stuff that was, said on Kiwi Farms coincides with what you said on that document. And he had redacted that document. Jesus Christ, excuse me, I need to drink some water. My apologies. He had revised that document so many times according to what Kiwi Farms said. They saved his ass, inadvertently or not. He's up there daily. So think about this for a minute. You have a loser calling other people's losers, but yet he observes them probably more than they observe him. Keep in mind, there are multiple people up there, right? He's one person, and he can pretty much tell you what's going on over there daily. Even people who lurk Kiwi Farms, who don't have accounts, who lurk Kiwi Farms can't tell you everything that goes on daily. You have to go back and read 10 pages maybe. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe 5 to 10 pages daily, just to keep up with what the conversation is more often than not, unless Phil does something really stupid. But if you hear him rattle off, he pretty much tells you what's being said by the minute. Damn near. He may be a couple hours off, but not by much. Well, that's weird. So it's not like he's completely secluded from it. He actively engages into it as well. He's partaked in it. He has said things that was said in the Wings of Redemption thread and in the Low Tier God thread that I know he couldn't have heard unless he was there. He had to have read through it to say what he said. Not all of it, but some of it. He read enough of it, I should say. So how does he explain that? When Kiwi Farms goes down for its maintenance, right, he's been caught doing this at least once. Why is it that he was up at 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, tweeting, uh-oh, Kiwi Farms got taken down? What happened? Who was tweeting about Kiwi Farms at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning? Something to think about.
But they would never allow that because God forbid that you actually turn the camera back on you, right? You gotta understand that the people who put themselves out there on the internet, that's a lot of bravado to do that, To put themselves out on the internet is a huge risk, and people are flawed and make huge mistakes and do really embarrassing, stupid shit on the internet. And it's right in front of a camera for everyone to see.
In mid-2016, I accidentally streamed myself masturbating. Splashed. It seriously and splashed all over my face and my pants. What the fuck?
And it's easy for you to sit behind the internet and make fun of someone, but at the same time, if you flip it on its face and you look at you, you're more pathetic than anyone you ever made fun of. Because you just sat there making fun of them because you're a fucking loser.
So wait,
right?
you did something stupid and you didn't expect people to laugh at it? So wait a second. So when Logan Paul did his dumb shit, you were quick to sit there and talk about that shit on pre-streams and throughout the playthroughs for days on end, talking about that nonsense. Or I can't remember, and this right here might be something most of you guys forgot. It was either Logan or he was either Logan Paul or the other one, or his brother. I can't remember what they were doing, but I can't remember which one I should say, but they went parachuting. And if any of you guys have gone parachuting, you kind of, well, if you've gone parachuting a few times, you know this. But his initial chute didn't open, right? So obviously that's a really fucking terrifying situation. But the emergency chute did. And so the guy, Logan or whoever, had tweeted about it and shit, and it was like, yo, pretty scary situation, but I'm okay, and whatever, still a lot of fun, yada, 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 yada. Phil was the one who went on his pre-stream and said, not only did he know about it, but he was like, wow, I wonder what YouTube would have been like if that parachute didn't open. Who talks like that? Who talks like that? I don't give a fuck what you think about either one of the Logan brothers. Fuck them both. But you don't wish death on people like that. And he likes doing that. And that's really what it is too. He tries to go ahead and spin it like, oh, it's just a joke, or it was just offhanded, or even dark humor. But in actuality, it's funny how the people who are the most successful, or who have the most reach, or are being observed the most, are the ones that he wants to be knocked out of pocket. It's really, really interesting how that happened. Just like when that Toby Turner situation with that scandal he had a couple years ago, and Phil had shitted on reaction videos, but then he does a reaction video to that whole Toby Turner situation. That's funny, because the reason why he did that, because he was bitter, but also there's some lore behind that. He did the Toby Turner reaction video because he was mad at Toby Turner doing a machinima commercial for some type of video game back in the day, and that commercial was put on a few of his videos, as it was for anybody else who was on machinima at that time. And he personally blamed Toby Turner for that. He made it sound like Toby Turner told machinima to put that ad on his video. But then Phil had to walk that back too. He was like, oh, well, I'm not mad at the ad. I'm mad that the ad promotes Toby Turner at the end of the ad. But Toby Turner's in the fucking ad itself. So, I mean, if people see the ad and they think it's funny, they're going to want to go and see who he is anyway. Hence the reason why his information was put at the end. So it's not that you're mad because his information and the link to his channels or whatever was put at the end of the video. You were just mad that another YouTuber who was already successful was promoted on your videos. That's what it was. And he went on this little bullshit campaign to try to essentially put the squeeze on Toby Turner to apologize to him publicly. And then when I surmise, but I know I'm not too far off of the mark on this one, that he wanted to have a private conversation with Toby Turner behind the scenes and basically say, hey, you were promoted on my channel, you should promote me on your channel. And that conversation never happened, but I bet you that's what he wanted. But more importantly, Toby Turner wasn't going to do that anyway. Toby Turner wasn't going to apologize to him. Toby Turner even talked to him on Twitter. He was like, yo, I just did the commercial, dude. I don't have any say on where it goes and so on and so forth. I can't do anything about that. Oh no, that's fucked up what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You're hurting me. You're hurting my business. He's like, dude, I'll talk to someone and see if I can have the ad removed from your videos. But I don't have any control over that. I don't have a say-so in that, man. I just got paid to do the interview and that's it. Or do the commercial and that was that. And I think Toby Turner did get it removed off at least Phil's shit. You know what I'm saying? But he running around butthurt as fuck about it. You could say that situation was similar to what happened with Ninja a couple years ago when he was being promoted, when he did an ad or whatever that was being promoted on all these different Twitch channels or whatever, and some Twitch streamers got mad about it or whatever. I guess you could say it's the same concept, but at least with Ninja, he was like, hey, well, the way Ninja handled it was kind of shitty, but whatever. The point being is that Toby Turner couldn't do anything about that. He just did the commercial, he got paid for it, moved on. He doesn't tell Machinima where they get to put it, where they don't. Machinima does that. They paid him, not the other way around. And Phil knew that, but he wanted so very desperately to have Toby Turner apologize, because he looked at Toby Turner and iJustine and all these people. You're just vloggers. Stay in your fucking lane. Do what you're good at. Why are you coming over here to gaming? Oh, because you can get free money out of it and you can bring your huge audiences over and just pocket cash, and you're taking away from me. That's an actual video that Phil made where he actually said that. So that's why he was actually trying to get back at Toby Turner. So tell me how this loser is going to talk all his bullshit, given just some of the examples I've given you. Yet again, we can agree that the trolling stuff it gets out there. It gets wild. But he doesn't even have it as bad as someone as like Wings. Like Wings has it shitty. Like Wings trolls, haters, detractors, they do not play no games. Not at all. They go hard in the motherfucking paint. It's literally a take no prisoner type situation. Like, it's like Wings has it tough. Tough as fuck. And don't be wrong, Wings is a piece of garbage too. Piece of fucking shit. But goddamn, DSP can never say he has it bad compared to Wings, because it's a lie. It's a blatant lie. But at the same time, though, too, and only to validate that point, or to follow it up, is that you guys didn't, it's not like this shit happened for no reason. It wasn't like you guys just put yourselves out there and you just got targeted. That's not what happened. That's not the case. Both of y'all fucked up quite a few times to lead to this. This just didn't happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in one fucking day.
Follow my story because it's interesting, it's funny. Yeah, in a lot of ways it's depressing because of the fucked up stuff that's happened to me and the fucked up stuff that I've said and done over the years. At the very same time, my story's better than yours if you just sit there and follow along to make fun of me. You're way worse off than I am, and you're gonna always be a nobody loser. So, I'm happy being who I am. You're the idiots who have to make a website to make fun of me, calling me a title like a LOLCOW. You're the most embarrassing thing on the planet. But we'll never have the camera.
They're the most embarrassing thing on the planet, but yet you're the one who has to do 2-hour-long pre-streams crying and complaining about how you can't get sponsorships, you can't get endorsements, you can't get this, you can't get that. Look at my legacy, look at my 12 years and whatever. Why can't I have nice things like other people? And tell people that all the bad things I did, taken out of context, disregard that. Oh, if you had it all in context, it would make more sense. There are only nuggets of truth to everything that's being said by me. Really, Phil, there's only nuggets of truth of you being a pedophile? But these guys are bigger losers than you. Okay. Oh, if you want to die on that hill. How many hills were there in Rome? 7? Okay. I've got you for at least 4 so far. Let's go see if we can get those other 3.
Because no one cares about you. So, there you go. Go cry in a fucking pillow. Alrighty then. Eugene has cheered, says, I can wear a schoolgirl outfit if you don't like the furry suit. How about I just ban you now, Eugene? Because I just unbanned you.
Okay, and so they can cry into their pillows and whatnot. No one gives a fuck about you. You mean like how when Panda ain't sat there and left your bitch ass for whoever else, right? And you were sitting there crying and complaining, getting yourself drunk each and every fucking night, talking about how you can't make meals for yourself and that how you had to learn how to fucking wash your own clothes at 35 years old? You mean like that? That what we're talking about with fucking losers and shit? You're talking about how you had to steal another man's woman and fucking fly her halfway across country and shit to come live with you? You mean like that? Like, was that you living your best life? Was that you being at the top of your game? Is that you being at your peak of your performance, son? Is that what the situation is? You wanted me to go back further? I can do that. Like how Panda said that you weren't able to get it up and whatnot, and how she wanted more sex, she wanted more intimacy, and you just couldn't perform. You want to talk some more about that? That's 3 more hills. So the 7 snort hills of Goutopia has already been taken. We can go for some more, though. I'll build another mound just so I can conquer it, if that's what you want. If that's the game you want to play. Like, you want to keep doing this. Like, there is so much about your history. Outside of Chris Chan, there's probably nobody that isn't as documented, or isn't as well documented as you. Or than you, I should say. It's you and Chris Chan for sure. And Phil, who's the one who put all the information out there? Who's the one who put all these different stories out there in all these different situations? Who's the one who had all these people make all these videos about them? Based off of information that you said. But see, we don't ever talk about that though. Oh, if you're a real fan and a real supporter, right? You'll pay me money, you'll tip me, you'll contribute to me, right? You'll watch all my videos, You'll sub to my channel and shit. You'll like, rate, and participate, or whatever the fuck that term was, right? But don't watch all my videos, because if you do, you're a stalker. Okay. And then he's even more pissed off because the detractors go ahead and cut all that bullshit out and give all of it to you in bite-sized bits, but he can't profit from it. Which is funny too, right? Because he's said multiple times over the last couple of years that I don't care what you do with my footage, you can do whatever you want with it, so on and so forth. This idiot ended up getting dropped from Machinima because he's a fucking dumbass. Had to ask his audience to get him a job at Curse, then leaves Curse to go to Fotabi, or oh shit, it's Fotabi and Laveria. Fotabi and Laveria Media, or / Laveria Media. He goes there because they can give him a managed partnership despite the fact that they were a new MCN and they couldn't deliver. He knew that they couldn't deliver. He had to have known that. Well, he actually says later on that he knew they couldn't deliver. But they made all these promises to him. But the real icing on the cake, the one thing that he swears to God he didn't want, or he didn't even ask for, but he jumped at the chance for it, is we're going to go around and pull in Alinity. This was actually before Alinity did it, honestly, but we're going to go ahead and claim all those detractor videos that are made for you, are made about you. And we're going to make sure that money goes straight into your fucking your pockets, right into the Snort Fort's coffers. That's where that's going to go. And I guarantee you that's exactly what he needed to hear to go ahead and jump ship. Come to find out, that shit was nothing more than a honeypot. Then he had to basically beg Curse to get taken back. But yet again, losers though, right? We're still talking about losers, right? That's still a thing, right? You guys can think whatever you want to think about me, but Jesus Christ, what do you call this? Let's continue.
You were being nice and asking for it to come back, and within your 2 cheers already, I don't want you here. So you got one more chance, and if I see one more stupid thing out of your mouth, you're out of here permanently, and you can go fuck yourself. Fug fucking Mowgli just subscribed to the channel for 9 months. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for 9 months of support. I appreciate that.
Disgusting, toxic cesspool of immoral, gross fucking people.
I will reiterate this. Right now, I really need help with tips. In the next 10 days, I need to make as many tips as possible.
I thought we just talked about losers, and now we e-begging? All right. Hanging himself, ladies and gentlemen. What's the motto over here on this channel? You give him enough rope and he'll hang himself. Yikes.
Here, once I get paid by Twitch, that'll be better, but I need as many tips as possible. If you can tip me rather than cheering or something, I appreciate that.
I look jacked. That's because I worked out right before the stream. I really pumped like big iron before I came here. Either that or I showered or something. I don't know.
He says, hey there, Brave, and Sir Spartan King. He says, I'm looking sexy tonight. I'm looking very sexy tonight. I know, I always look sexy, but tonight's extra sexy. I know. Here we go.
Please. I can't even move. I can't, it's too laggy. Yeah, I can't even do anything right now. Look at that! The guy literally got away with everything. I couldn't do anything because everything I did was half a second delayed. Every single move I did against the guy was half a second delayed. So nothing I could do. He got away with freebie moves constantly. I couldn't do anything.
Let me look back real fast, because it looks like that guy took a hit so he could get him with the throw. Let's take a look real fast.
I can't do anything right now. Look at that! The guy literally got away with everything. I couldn't do anything because everything I did was half a second delayed. Every single move I did against the guy was half a second delayed. So nothing I could do. He got away with freebie moves constantly. I couldn't do anything to what he did.
Oh my god, I suck.
SPB Original did a $4.20 tip. It says, do you have taco soup for dinner? And is gout pain worse than ear infection pain? Thanks. No, I did not have taco soup for dinner. Taco soup was over a week ago. I don't know why you think that I'm eating taco soup for dinner tonight. And as for gout versus ear infection, I would say gout's ridiculously bad. But like when the one time in my life I had the worst pain was that first ear infection when I did not get it treated right away. I ignored it, hoping it would just go away. And it got so bad, okay? It got so bad. It actually felt like there was a knife in my ear canal. That one day, when I had an insane throbbing pressure in that right ear, was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. It was worse than the gout. By far, it was worse. Like, I could not even concentrate. It was so bad and throbbing in my ear. And then finally, the medicine arrived, which had the steroid in it, and it allowed the swelling to go down. And I had a much better day. Oh my god, as soon as the swelling went down, the pain went right away, and I was able to actually concentrate and sleep and relax and feel better. But man, it was so bad. Keep in mind, I'd had that ear infection for about a week to a week and a half where I was ignoring it, hoping it would just go away. Because it was the first time I'd ever had an ear infection. I was hoping it would just fix itself. It did not fix itself. No, it did not.
There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict.
Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. More Super Snort Fighters 2 Turbo Gout is actually coming up for our next video. So don't worry, we're gonna we're gonna pack it back in there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second to go into our next music break, and I will see you guys for video number 4. See you guys in just a second. Oh. Oh.
Warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
One can only hope. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the 4th video that will make up our broadcast, it's brought to us by Burnell, DSP, Salty Destruction in Street Fighter, and running away from lobbies with good players, which it wouldn't be his first time. This was published on February 6th of 2021. The link will be down in the description. Now to the failures. I really should expand this for games like this. I should really start doing that.
These are pretty crazy good. Wait, I can't even jump over the fireball, I can't. Wow, my feet were in his body and the dude said no, give him the trip. Wow, I couldn't block it. I seriously couldn't block it. I can't block again. Yeah, it's terrible. I can't block the jump and he gets a 3-hit combo because it's fucking lagging so bad. It's so lame.
I myself am a former pro fighting game player.
Never get around the fireballs. Yep, nothing I can do. Come over. Okay, I finally got over one. Wow, he recovered. I can't believe that shit. He fucked. No tech hit again. I can't believe he fucking recovered from the whipped fireball and was able to sweep me before my kick could hit him.
I mean, let's be honest. Phil tries to do those same tactics when he plays Ryu too, so that's not anything particularly new. And Phil is quick to go for an uppercut, like the first chance he gets. The only difference is this guy's timing's better. Clearly. Like, Phil will wait till you're in the air to do it, when in actuality you should try to get them on the ground if you can, especially if they're doing an action. Even if they're empty jumping, there's no air block, so you might as well, but semantics.
But that's, like I said, that's a 100% counter match. That's one of Blanca's worst matchups in the game, old Ryu.
Coming from someone who counter-picks on the regular himself. Imagine that.
No fireball. Screws me over. No fireball again. Not what I did. What? Not what I did! I never did standing medium kick. I was walking forward, and I was going to do a low medium in the roundhouse as a combo, and he's open when he does the hurricane. The game gives me an early standing medium kick. Didn't do that.
He quit the room, dude.
It's not even just that. It's the fact that hurricane kick turned him around. So by the time dude landed, like, I guess either his character was auto-correcting or Phil was trying to walk back to get space and immediately got thrown. On top of that, Phil's never been good at teching throws, so, which is why he's so vulnerable to it. Especially in, like, what's a great example? Third Strike, I guess. I would guess is probably one of the best examples. He gets thrown damn near at will. It's scary to watch that shit. You're playing this game for all them years and you never learned how to break a throw. And I'm not saying you got to break each and every one of them, but goddamn, break the important ones. Well, they're all important, but you know what I mean. Break the crucial ones, I should say.
He's so embarrassed he quit the
And
fucking
crucial
ring. He's like,
meaning anything that puts you, that either corners you or puts you puts you in a position where you could be crossed up, basically.
fuck this shit. God damn, that's bad.
No yoga flame, I can't get it. You want a tiger uppercut? I was ready for it. It doesn't come out. He gets lucky. So lucky, nothing I can do about any of this. No yoga fire. Nothing happened at all. Nothing came out. Wow, no yoga fire again. I can't do it. It won't throw fireballs for me because of the lag. It's so bad. Okay, yoga fire, nothing. He just stands there and the lag does nothing.
We're up to $15 tips so far tonight. I really, really would love to hit the tips goal tonight. I hit it in 3 streams, and I need the help with tips this week. So if you guys
This
like
Chaos Wolf, Goldie Joe is someone who's been up there before, though, right? Like I feel like I've seen that name up there before. I'm not saying they're like a stream sniper or anything, but I feel like that's definitely a name that seems familiar.
Fighter stuff, please tip if you can tonight.
I e-bag, right? You're constantly asking your viewers and your fans for contribution.
I have received a very generous $85 tip tonight from Jax Raxer. OGX Fogel tipped me $5 out of your 3 top shares of the week. You gotta sleep with one, marry one, and kill one? No, I don't. Fuck all that. I'm not doing any of that shit. That's stupid. That's incredibly dumb.
I don't think he has a cross up in this. Oh yes! It didn't work. She interrupted it. It's a stupid. Here's a stupid kick super. It does like nothing at all. That's what I did. I want to see if it would do anything. And of course, it didn't do nothing at all. And now I can't get out of the corner. The game sucks.
It's very, very salty.
Gauge. Wow, it stuffs the Shoryuken. The Shoryuken sucks ass. Empty jump mash super. Jesus Christ. That was super. It should have hit him. I did super again. Dude, it will not come out. Yes. Whoa, yes. Oh my god, dude. I have frame advantage here.
I swear that he only plays Sean for 2 different reasons. One, because people can use their Penne points or whatever the fuck that is. So that's the thing. And 2, so he can get a better understanding of that Goji match. That's really what it is. And even though I'll say it because I certainly believe it, I think Sean isn't even Goji's best character. It's definitely one of his most flushed out ones. It's one of his more flushed out characters. But I think his Goji's Alex is fucking amazing. I think his Alex is amazing, but and brutal too, just absolutely fucking devastating. Jesus Christ. But I think he only did that. I think he's only doing that so he can have a better understanding of the matchup. So the next time he goes up against Goji tanks. But the thing is, though, is he's had years. He's had over a decade to understand what that matchup is. I mean, even from his older standards, I should say. He had years to, instead of running like a whore to the tier list to like go to Ken and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it took one person coming out of the woodworks, beating his ass down for the better part of a year for you to now start wanting to play that character and understanding it so you can try to beat him. Wow. Oh, the search for validation, ladies and gentlemen. The search for validation.
I went for super. He literally just went like this, mashed the button, and the game let him hit me. And I lost because of that.
Was 100% solved.
way too early. Moon didn't come out, I completely dropped it. Oh my god, really? Super! I wanted super, he dashed
Yeah, I really
backwards.
do need
Super
to make the screen bigger for these games like this. But that'll definitely be something I'll think about in the future, if it's not already recommended. But he would have had a hard time beating Chaos Wolf's Makoto anyway, because I mean, Chaos Wolf plays a lot of Makoto, and he's still working and developing on his setups. Once he gets his setups down and whatnot, and once he starts being able to connect off any hit, which is what good Makoto players do. Watch a lot of the Japanese videos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Then Phil's gonna have all kinds of problems, because you can capitalize essentially off of easily 85% of Makoto shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can essentially follow that up off at least, like say 85, 90%, 80, 85%, I should say, of her stuff. Once Chaos Wolf gets that stuff down, then that's when we see the brutality start. Completely
hit her and did the same damage. It didn't dash backward, I never tapped back on the joystick. 2 fireballs and punches dash back before the game. Alright, well now I don't have to fucking pick him anymore, because he sucks. Worst character in Third Strike. Wow, who didn't come out? Wow, it stuck it completely? Getting my jump ins clean. I don't know what jump ins to use against her. What the fuck is that normal? Here's a headbutt? That was level 3 super, are you kidding me? Wide open for level 3 super, it doesn't come out. Wide open for level 3 super, which would have taken like a giant chunk out of her bar, I get nothing. Instead, I take a giant combo. Fucking stupid game sucks, man.
Oh, it's salt. It's even now, again, my mouth overpowered with salt flavor.
Alright, I think I'm out of this lobby. I'm tired of fucking playing these guys in fucking Alpha 3. I really hate Alpha 3. You guys know that. I really detest Alpha 3. I don't want to fucking play those guys all night if they're just going to play Alpha 3. So...
And yet, all he does is play Super Turbo. Matter of fact, do you guys remember? Well, in my timeline, this was probably like a month ago now. Maybe not. Yeah, it's probably been about a month. But do you guys remember that one night where a lot of the usual suspects were out in full force, and Phil found this little Third Strike lobby with 3 guys just kind of going back and forth, only playing Third Strike, having a great time, and hid in this lobby all night. He hid in that lobby all fucking night. And has the nerve to be like, oh, I don't want to play in this lobby if they're all they're going to do is play Third Strike. You only play Super Turbo. You only play those other games when you're forced to. How many times, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, how many times have you ever seen Darkside Phil pick anything but Super Turbo? Like, it's a rare occurrence. Like, as rare as him taking baths. As rare as him bathing. As rare as him being, well, I was going to say genuinely nice, but he's not genuinely nice to anybody. It's that rare that he picks anything else. As soon as that shit comes on, Super Turbo immediately. But he got the nerve to criticize other people because they only want to play Third Strike. Or Alpha 3. Take that in.
And the troll's already in here, so one more match and I gotta leave again. Right in the middle of my combo, he mashes command throw, and I can't do anything about it. Yep, nothing I can do here. He has a turbo button. He has a turbo button, and he mashes out the Fierce Punch hand, which you're not doing in the real game. But he's cheating. He's holding to one button and getting Fierce Punch hand.
If that was the case, then why the fuck didn't he just keep doing it? There's multiple times when there was like a character or 2 linked between them where he could have done it and he didn't do it, because that would have that would have discouraged Phil from doing, like, you know what I'm saying, like a dash punch or anything like that. He could have done it then. Why didn't he? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
You fucking stupid cheater. That shit, by the way, is not allowed in tournaments. You cannot have a turbo controller in tournaments at all.
He rage quit!
Yeah, we're not in tournaments though. You're playing online. It's casual. Deal with it.
Rage quit! Oh my god, he rage quit! Are you fucking serious?
Single combo. Wow! You just keep doing that, and he's so slow he can't recover from the fireball. Wow, I couldn't
Now
punish
here's the
the
thing.
again.
Early on in this match, I won't bring it back. We'll keep it pushing. But earlier in this match, when Ryu was doing all those crouching light kicks, why didn't he sit there and say, "Oh, he must have a turbo button. He was using it there." He didn't do that, but he's gonna accuse the guy who's playing E Honda with the 100 hand slaps of using a turbo controller. And that guy was able to get those light kicks out pretty fast. I'm not accusing that guy of anything, nor am I giving the inkling of it. I'm just surprised that Phil didn't say anything. It's amazing how that's the thing, isn't it?
Terrible. Holy crap, Dalsim is bad in this one. That's really bad.
Voodoo Doctor 0191 did 100-bit cheers. Have you ever been legitimately beating in a video game? Huh? Or is it always the game's fault? No, it's always the game's fault. I'm a perfect human, of course. Completely flawless. I never make mistakes. Okay.
Oh, that was actually a great move. That's not what I wanted. I wanted head stop. Give me up light kicks. I'm fucked. Yeah, because now she has frame advantage. I can't get out of the corner. Yep, I'm fucked. Nothing I can do about this. All because he gave me the wrong move. All I wanted was down, up, head stomp. It gives me up, jump up fucking short instead of the head stomp, and I can't win. It's fucking stupid. This collection really blows.
The Italian, it's too salty for me. Maybe if you like a lot of salty, that was like way too much salt for me.
There, you saw it again. But we're not going to accuse him of using a turbo controller? Alright.
Yes, the fucking hurricane kick has incredible invincibility in this game. Look at that! He literally can just keep doing it over and over. I can't do anything about it. Her light hurricane kick has invincibility on the way up, so you can't hit it. You can't stuff it. My god.
Destroyed! Oh my god, he rage quit! The motherfucker rage quit. What a little bitch. What a little fucking bitch to quit like that, man. Come on. That's just ridiculous.
It is what it is. It's hit or miss with this game. I do want to say thank you to those who did support the stream. Obviously, License for Soul, the biggest cheer, and Jack's Rapture with the insanely generous tip. I really appreciate that. If anyone else wants to support, please tip me if you can tonight. That's why I really need the help, alright? But, at this point, I can't fucking blame you if you don't, just considering how bad this fucking stream's been because the game sucks this week. I don't know what's going on.
Wow, sure you can, huh? Now everything he does beats. Yeah, look, everything he does stuffs my moves. Yep, I can't do a move. I can't. It's so stupid. My moves just don't come out. What? What? A low medium punch beats a heavy jump in. I hate Alpha 3. I fucking hate that game.
And then he rage quit. He rage quits like a bitch. Great player.
A low medium punch down here stops a giant flying kick. I hate Alpha 3. I seriously hate it. It's such a bad game. It's a game for people who don't like Street Fighter. Wow. I didn't do that. That was thrust kick. Didn't do that. Wow. I could not get my moves, and he just mashed his turbo controller.
She beat the brakes off that. If you saw how fast her energy bar fell, god damn, he beat the brakes off that. Yikes.
Mash command throw. What is going on? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I give up. I give up. I'm done. I can't play this anymore. This is the worst night possible. This is the worst it's ever been. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I quit. I tap out. I can't play this. I can't do it. No, I'm done. I'm serious. I can't play this anymore tonight. I've had enough. I've lost my patience. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Can you believe they sold this just a few months ago? Just a few months ago, this was on sale. They were trying to sell this to a new audience. Say, oh, it's on sale. Come on, everyone, go buy it. What the fuck? Well, I will personally apologize to all of you. All right, thank you, Roosh, for 300-bit cheers, laughing at how bad it was. Thank you, all of you, for your support. Thanks for chilling with me, despite the fact this was the worst Street Fighter night in a long time. Like, at least the last couple of weeks. I consistently could play. I couldn't even consistently play the game tonight. That really, 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 really frustrates me. Because I want to put out a fun, entertaining stream for you guys, and usually that means more matches. Even if it's rage over lag, at least you get the matches. I think I may have played 20 matches tonight, if that, and most of them were terrible lag. So, I'm sorry, guys. I really am. We'll try again next week, I guess.
My piss jar is full, but I need to leave the basement. What do I do? I don't want to leave the basement. Oh my god, he's drinking piss. there's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict.
Oh boy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going into the fifth and final video that will make up our broadcast, and I will see you guys in just a second. Wow. Just wow.
See right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, that's... sounds good to me.
Before people freak out, because some people just tend to make drama out of everything, if you take a look at the top of your screens, you will see the stream stats leaderboard for today. If you notice...
We'll address that appropriately. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the fifth and final video that will make up our broadcast. I know, it's a sad moment. Brought to us by Snort Burnell, DSP. Let's see, $200 tip goal. Not having a job and playing video games all day is a bad idea. And not a hypocrite. This was published on February 7th of 2021. The link will be down in the description. Here we go. It actually, real quick, as it pertains to the whole not having a job and playing video games all day is a bad idea. The more that he tried to make it sound like it was a job, the more he fucked it up. And then given his past job history, it only makes sense why he's at where he's at now. I'll leave it at that for right now. Here we go.
It says there's a tips goal of $200.
It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control.
And already, even that Anonymous said, oh my god, a $200 tips goal, what's going on? Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I've already said, today, I'm only doing one stream. This stream is the stream, okay? There is no two streams. Usually, typically, I would do two streams, and each stream, I'd be trying to hit a $100 tips goal. Well, today, I'm only doing one stream. So I just combined the two tips goal into the one, okay? I really would like to hit that today. As you guys know, as I've said over the past week, right now I'm incredibly strapped for cash because of the fact that I had to drop a ton of money for tax bills and other things near the end of January that suck that I have to do, but I just have to do it every year. And this year it was higher than usual. It was unexpectedly high. Because of that, I'm completely strapped.
How was it unexpectedly high when you made more money? The harder you beg, the more money that comes in, more often than not, and the more you're going to owe in taxes. How does he not figure that out? Also, what was this? Was this like a marathon or something? Or was this some type of like special stream? Or was he just up drunk all night or some shit, and that's why there's only one stream instead of two? I'm just curious, because if that's the case, I mean, this is kind of like par for the course when you think about it. Whenever Phil has like a special event or whatever, it's usually always going to be a $200 tip goal. Or stream goal, sorry. Whatever. So that's not something too off the mark. He just let the trolling get to him, I guess.
I get paid by Twitch around the middle of this month. So I've got like another week to week and a half to wait to get paid by Twitch before I have any money. So it's your tips, very matter-of-factly, that are helping me pay for everything. Including, I just bought this pizza for today. No lie, and the tips went right to it and bought the Papa John's pizza for today. My grocery bills, you know, stuff for Jasper.
Okay, so there we go. So it was a special event. So essentially, I need $200 to recoup everything that I'm about to pay for or I've already paid for. And I want extra spending money for when I go on my day off. Gotcha. I roger that.
paying all the bills behind the scenes, which I've already talked about. I don't want to talk about them again because they just frustrate me that I have to pay some of these things, especially ones I feel I shouldn't be paying still, but I digress. You know, basically I need your support, alright? I need your support in order to keep going until I get paid by Twitch, alright? So please consider tipping me today. If you're going to support the stream, I appreciate all contributions, whether it's cheering, subbing, or tipping, but I would love to
imagine going through life, occurring bills, and then being mad that you have to pay for those bills. Imagine that. And don't be wrong, I understand that he's talking about the condo or whatever, the one in Connecticut. So I get that shit. But then again, if he had handled his responsibilities all those years ago, this wouldn't be a problem today. He wanted to live for the moment, so he did. And now he's paying for it. And now he's suffering the consequences. He's paying the piper, if you will. He did it to himself. Like I said, the world is bigger than what's just in front of you.
Tips goal, which is just typically this regular goal I would have on a normal day. If we hit it, that's great. It will help tremendously. And take the pressure off. We won't have to worry about hitting it or whatever. Just have a nice, relaxing day. Okay?
Give me your money.
Lies of Her Soul just did the first, well, he was the first cheer of the day with a 500-bit cheer. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. And he says, can we retrospect on your Last of Us 2 playthrough where Abby got bent over backwards? We need to remember how bad the game is. No. And if you bring up sex again on the stream, I'm banning you. Because you think it's funny, it's not. It's incredibly immature and stupid. Nobody cares but you, so shut up about it. But thank you for the cheer. Lies of Her Soul, excuse me. Lies of Her Soul cheered again. He says, are you going to make handmade penne sauce? Or are you going to use regular ranch? So he's being disgusting again. Lies of Her Soul, I thought we had this fucking conversation. Like, I thought we had this conversation. Are you a brain-dead idiot? Alright, everyone, we're pausing the stream right now. Alright? We're pausing the stream. Right now, we're pausing it. Alright? Lies of Her Soul. Are you actually going to use your fucking brain for the rest of the stream? Or should I just ban you now? You have a choice. You can either say, yes, I will not misbehave for the rest of the stream. I'll be normal. Or should I just ban you now? Because I'm not going to progress with this stream until I get an answer from you.
Cat, you need to get out now. That place is toxic.
Can you behave, or should I just get rid of you? Because I've warned you now 3 days in a row, and here you go again with the stupidity. I don't care that you're
He's
the top...
like the worst substitute gym teacher ever. He's terrible. He's terrible. I'm not a children's entertainer. I have mature, intelligent adults in my fucking chat, in my community. And yet we talk to them like this. And the crazy thing is, some of these guys are adults. Yikes.
Hearer. You don't get away with being disgusting on the stream. So, what's it gonna be? That's not an answer. he made a face. That's not an answer. I need an answer. Are you going to behave and not say disgusting things on the stream, or should I ban you now? It's either yes, I can behave, or no, I can't. So you make your decision. I need your answer. I'm not even going to move forward with this stream until we get an answer. And then we will move on, because I'm not going to have my entire retrospective with you cheering disgusting shit. I'm just not putting up with it now, I'm telling you. He said yes. Okay, he says he can behave. So you all saw it. He just said yes, he can behave. If we see misbehavior, he's out of here. Like, I gave him an honest chance to understand what he's doing is wrong and disgusting and to stop it, right? I gave him a fair chance, okay? No one can say I didn't. I gave him a fair chance. So there you go. It's in public. If he does it again, disgusting shit, he's out of here.
Sure.
If we hit $200 in tips today, all right, I will put on the cowboy hat because I'm not wearing headphones. I'm actually going to be wearing my headphones around my neck when I'm over at the PC doing the retrospective. That means I'll be able to wear something on my head so I can put the cowboy hat on. So people are screaming for the Sonic hat. I put it on for like 10 minutes. I can't wear that thing at length. I just can't. The Sonic hat bothers me. It actually makes my head itch and heat up, and also doesn't sit comfortably on my head. He's
literally a living Mr. Potato Head. And you get to dress up and customize him any which way you want. I mean, granted, you have to pay for it, but you he literally is Mr. Potato Head. Oh my god. It's funny because when I initially made the joke about Mr. Potato Head wrapped up in aluminum foil, was because of the platinum vest, and we all get that. And all Catherine does is feed him potatoes and shit like that. But now, when you really look at this whole dress up situation where you can put you can put like a vest on him. You can put the glasses. You can put the hat. In our current timeline, he can have 2 vests on. He's literally Mr. Potato Head. It's funny if it wasn't so sad.
I'm wearing the fucking Sonic hat all day. But I haven't worn the cowboy hat in quite some time, so I would consider doing that. Well, see, here we go. This is basically very, very, very sarcastic. But I'll read it regardless. He says, Phil, I appreciate your changing your behavior and choice of words over the last few years. You can tell it's genuine growth and not because you're terrified of getting deplatformed. You do realize, Luke Wheelers, I could go wherever I want and still stream, and I could say whatever I want. If Twitch, alright, really didn't like me because I said something nasty, I could go right to YouTube immediately. I've done so. When Twitch erroneously banned me for DMCA takedowns, I'd go right to YouTube. YouTube doesn't give 2 fucks about what you say.
And he really complained the whole time about how he wants to be on Twitch. He wants to be there permanently. He wants to end his career there, and so on and so forth. And Twitch is so much better. YouTube, you can't moderate properly, and it's the Wild West over here, and it's scary, and it's frightening. You know what I'm saying? It's the fucking Gout to see him here, and it's open game on his dumb ass. So, yeah, he's going to run over here if he can't do Twitch. But he wasn't thriving on Twitch anyway. So it doesn't matter. He's kind of just leaving one bad situation for another. It doesn't change anything. And the fact that he's even considering it in the way he's doing it here just goes to show how pissed off he probably is that Almighty Tevin's over there, praise me, that Almighty Tevin's over there on Twitch and he's doing well. That he's actually thriving and shit. And it's funny because Phil shouldn't be taken aback by that because Phil was the one who sat there and talked him up saying, oh, I hear he's a real talented guy. He has a lot of charisma and so on and so forth. Just stop stealing my shit, man. Just make your own content. Stop stealing my shit. He's over there and he's making shit happen and he's doing well. Where's his congratulations? Where's his flowers? Where's his bottle of champagne? Oh, well, it is what it is. Snorts in a bottle for everybody.
Give a shit. You could say whatever the fuck you want over there and get away with it, which is why they have such disgusting toxic channels and shit over there. You know, it's pretty fucked up how bad it is over there, and they just allow anything. If that was really my concern, I would be over there in a heartbeat. It's not. Because the truth is, I got tired of making that kind of content. I'm just tired of the sexual jokes. I'm tired of all that stuff. And you know what? Every once in a while, I make a slip up, and I say something stupid, and I'm like, you know what? I need to grow. I need to change. I need to learn not to say that old mentality shit that I used to say a decade ago. And it's better for me to learn to not do that and to get that out of my content. It is. It's better for me to become a better content creator and you know, and have those kind of rules and regulations in place. You know, I don't have an issue with it. What's hilarious to me, I like how you say that to me, Luke Wheeler.
He's 40.
Like,
keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, he's 40 years old and he can't conduct himself unless he's on a platform or he's within the perimeters of rules. Right? Rules that he's been dealing with for a number of years, but it's only now sinking in that if I don't do this, I could get into serious trouble. Mr. Businessman, by the way. Mr. Valedictorian. Keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Who knows and understands what's popular and what's successful, and you have no right to criticize him or critique him on anything because he's the one with the 12-year legacy. Womp womp.
Hypocrite or something. What's hilarious is no one says that Ninja's a hypocrite, despite the fact that he purposely said, the reason I'm leaving Twitch and going to Mixer is because Twitch's rules are now too restrictive on what you can say. He goes to Mixer, takes a giant payday, Mixer closed down, he comes right back to Twitch. Wow. But no one calls him out. It's me, I'm the one who
What about when Twitch was sat there and let his channel go to shit and had porn being advertised on it and all that? Did we forget about that nonsense? The fact that he went over there for more money made sense because one, it was good business, and two, he was basically stagnant on Twitch anyway. So he kind of needed to go over there and get, and kind of, he needed a recharge. He needed a reset, if you will. And he got paid $30 million to do it, or allegedly $30 million to do it. That sounds like good business. Don't act like you're not a whore yourself, Phil, and you wouldn't do it. Matter of fact, most of you in the audience can't even say that you wouldn't do that. $30 million is nothing to shake at. Just to go ahead and change platforms for what, a year? Or whatever it was? It's probably one of the biggest paydays Ninja will ever get in the shortest amount of time. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that was a good look. Shit, even if you took what Shroud took, allegedly $10 million. And he was over there less for the least amount of time between him and Ninja. He was only there for like 8 or 9 months. Psh, I'll take $10 million for 9 months of doing what I'm already doing anyway. You would think Phil wouldn't be upset about it. But Phil's a hypocrite because he talks down to people, he spats at people, he slanders people, quote unquote, and whatnot, and then does the exact same thing later and tries to justify it that, oh, I'm not in the situation that they were when they did it, and that's why I'm allowed to do it. But if it's a hypocritical thing to do, or if it's egregious or disgusting to do then it is now. Period. That's how that works. And he don't see it that way. And then he has the nerve to say, oh, the world isn't black or white. There's shades of gray. You're the one who sat there and lived by that notion until you were like in your late 30s. Not everybody else. That shit that kids learn in their fucking teens and shit, at least in their early 20s. You're the one that's fucking late learning life lessons that most people learn in their first 20 years of life. You're not figuring this shit out until you're damn near 40. That says more about you than anybody else.
So here's what you can do. Fuck off.
Yep, I'm toxic.
Listen to this. Trippy TXTT. Oh my god, I can't even say this guy's name. He cheers said, are you keeping a portion of the tips for yourself today, or is it all going to the tax app? I've actually been very transparent. I've told you guys exactly what tips are going towards. Number one, they paid for today's pizza. They will pay for my grocery shopping on Tuesday. They're going to pay for a condo fees that I feel I should not be paying, but illegally, apparently, I'm still tied to paying for a condo that should have been foreclosed on in the last year and still hasn't because they dragged their fucking feet. So I get screwed over every month and have to pay them around $400. It's going to pay for my condo fees here where I live now. It's going to pay for the internet bills that are going to come due.
WWE Champions bills.
And I actually owe my current tax guy money for work he did for me months ago that I have to pay him so that he'll actually do my taxes this year. So that's where all that money's going, and all that is due before.
If I remember correctly, with this whole new tax guy, the guy has him on a payment plan too, allegedly, and he pays like $100 to him each and every month. Because I think Phil said that this guy charges the same amount as the old tax guy. The old tax guy used to charge him $1,200. Phil apparently is so broke that he can't pay $1,200 up at one time, or even do 2 installment payments of $600, or even 3 installment payments of $400 each. Whatever. The point being is that so he worked out a deal to where he pays $100 a month, and that's it. So what's the problem? And usually, when the beginning of the year, or the beginning of the tax season comes around, Phil has already paid for the prior year, and now he's getting ready to pay for the next year. If that's the ongoing cycle they've had for at least the last year, possibly 2, ever since Phil talked all that bullshit with those blank tax papers, then what's the problem now? Oh well, semantics, I'm sure. But if I remember correctly, that's the arrangement that him and his tax guy have.
Or I get paid by Twitch. We're talking over $1,000. So that's why your tips every day are helping me with that, and I appreciate you guys tipping me. I told you guys this already. Like, I don't know. What is the tax app? There's no tax app. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Stroke Burnell has subscribed to the channel. So funny. Stroke Burnell. Thanks a lot. I heard you had a stroke today. Your eyeballs went in 2 different directions. Is everything all right? I'm pretty sure when you have a stroke, your eyeballs don't go in 2 completely different directions. Like, what the fuck cartoon are you watching? Okay.
Creepy as fuck. This shit is creepy as hell. I hope someone uses that for Halloween for something, because Jesus Christ, that's scary. Absolutely scary.
Big Bane has tipped me $1 and says, I need to quit playing video games and get a job. Okay. If you don't have a job and you sit around playing video games all day, that's probably a bad idea. I'm just saying, like, likely that's a really bad idea. You should probably look to seek employment, being that usually it's not free to exist on this planet. Sadly, there are a lot of costs of living.
Instead of living free on this planet at other people's expense, live free on this planet at other people's expense. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Go ahead and just be a burden on the system, which is really what Phil is if you think about it. If you really, really think about it. These people that he takes his money from could be using it to invest in themselves. They could be using it to cover medical bills. They could be using it to just have money stashed away for a rainy day and some shit. You're talking about people who live far below what Phil's cost of living is, and or do not have Phil's health and whatnot, or they don't have the advantages Phil has, and yet he basically hits his piggy drum and expects them to shell out just about everything that they have daily. This isn't like a once a week or a once a month or a bi-weekly or a monthly tribute. He needs that tribute every day. And they are expected to come up with it. If not, the threats of this is all going to go away, and then what are you guys going to do after Phil Burnell leaves becomes the talk of the day. It's amazing. It's sad, but it's amazing.
You know, and especially as you become an adult and you actually have the ability to work, you probably should not have that be a burden on others. Instead, you should seek to earn employment and income. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Anyway, thank you for the tip. I have no idea what you're getting at with that tip, but I still thank you for the dollar.
He's starting to sink in what he said. It's starting to sink in what he said. So now we have to go ahead and shoo him away before the conversation ends up expanding into something he's not ready to speak on. That's kind of hilarious. It's actually kind of funny, even though you don't see Phil's face or his reactions. You can just hear by the way he talks how his thought process works. It's really, really funny when stuff like that starts to really seep in and he starts to come to the realization that he basically walked into a trap, for the lack of a better term.
Okay, then.
Hey, DSP, you gotta get a job.
DSP, get a damn job.
Hey, DSP, Tyrone says you need to get a job, dude.
Everybody should work.
Hey, DSP, yo, get a job, dude.
DSP, keep coasting, bud. It'll be all right. Keep coasting, brother.
Then Anonymous cheered again. He says, "I seem to be upset at all portrayals of sex. I only mean that perception exists out there. I don't mean to seem like I agree with that." No, well, that's just idiots. That's people who they want to always have something to make fun of me for, right? So in the past, it was always, wow, Phil is so immature, his playthroughs suck because he's over-sexualized, and everything that all his commentary is sex, 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 and he even during cutscenes, sex, sex, sex jokes, and we hate that about Phil, but he'll never mature, he'll never change and become better, right? So then, when I became a full-time streamer, I reassessed what I was doing.
So wait a second. So years and years later, I decided to change up. But when I was doing it, you said that, hey, if you can't handle this, get the fuck out. It's all jokes. It's all just humor and commentary. If you don't like it, get the fuck up out. So that's what the snort of the day was back then. The snorts of the past, if you will. But now all of a sudden, I'm a mature adult and whatnot. And for whatever reason, Catherine got him all wrapped up in some type of crazy ass way. Till now, sex is just an absolutely terrible thing. It's the worst thing ever. It's horrible. Even though while he was doing his whole sex crazed type commentary, you got this young lady in the next room who won it and you couldn't perform. What's that say about you there, champ? What's the talk of the day about that? Oh well, it's okay. It is what it is. Phil says that he wishes there was a pill for everything. Last time I checked, there's a pill for that. I don't know if you need it at his age, but maybe. I don't know.
That over a course of time, I was going to phase that content out. I did. And now, oh, Phil's a prude. See? Phil's this, Phil's that. You can't have it both ways, but that's how they want it. It's no matter what I do, it's never good enough for these people who are my critics.
Well, first off, you only phased it out because it wasn't working for you and you were already losing people. You did it because you had no choice, which is typically what is the charge for most of the things that Phil does. He only changes up when things are already starting to hit rock bottom. He didn't do it when he was at his proverbial air quotes peak. He waited until everything was already crashing down around him to try to do what he could to prop shit up. By then it's already too late. So it's not like he changed because he wanted to. He changed out of a very, very late perception of necessity, to be honest. It was just too late. When he did it, it didn't matter. It didn't mean anything when he finally did it. Oh well, that's what happens when you're behind the 8 ball for pretty much all your life.
Because in reality, they're not my critics. They're people who just want to say no matter what I do isn't good enough. So it doesn't matter if I make the jokes or I don't make the jokes. Either way, they spin it to be some kind of weird conspiracy theory. Oh, it's because he's married now. His wife yells at him behind the scenes about... No.
Sounds good to me.
It's because I've actively chosen not to do that in my content anymore. I thought it was tired. I was tired of doing it. I wasn't enjoying doing that kind of commentary anymore. I enjoy the more nice, natural gameplay that we have. And by the way, let me tell you this, and this is very truthful. All right?
Wait, nice, natural gameplay? What the fuck does that mean? I thought he was raw gameplay, no bullshit. So he lied during all those commentaries? He faked it, if you will? I'm so confused.
I feel awkward when I'm sitting in front of an audience of hundreds of people from around the world and there's sexual content going on, right? For me, sexual content is something to be enjoyed in private, whether it's with your significant other or whatever you choose.
I was going to say, this dude jerked off in front of what eventually became millions of people, or hundreds of thousands of people to up to 1 million people. But that's a whole other situation, so we want to talk about that. You think sexuality should be a private thing, but doesn't he have... It was on Panda's birthday, I think. I might have been her 21st, if I remember correctly. But don't you have a video? Or someone has it. There's a video out there where you and Panda are sitting there doing commentary over porn videos in the hotel. Or porn movies, I should say, that's scrolling past in the hotel. That's a thing, isn't it? I'm pretty confident that it is. If it is, we'll go over that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll do that. I'll have to age restrict the video probably, but I'll do that. If that is, I'm confident that video exists. I know I've seen snippets of it, but I don't think I've ever seen it. No, I've never seen it. In its entirety. Yeah. If that video pops up, we'll do it. We will do it.
That's not something to be live fucking streamed all around the fucking world, right? The one time it happened to me that happened, it was very embarrassing. And it wasn't intentional, right? It's not meant to be shared. You understand that? That's why that was such a big, controversial, and embarrassing thing in 2016 for me. So when this stuff happens in games, no, I actively don't want to share sexual content with people. That's embarrassing. It's uncomfortable. It's disturbing. Yeah, if you're playing the game by yourself in your own room, okay, fine. Now when you're live fucking streaming it, that's different. Right? It's a completely different experience. You guys understand that, right?
I guess he wouldn't like Honey Pop very much then. The way he acting. He probably wouldn't do well with that. Oh well. Has such a good soundtrack too. It really does. The music is so good.
Think about this. You're watching a movie, alright? It's a rated R movie. You're really enjoying the movie. And it has sexual content in it. Big deal. Now imagine the sexual content comes on the screen and your entire family is now sitting in the room with you. Your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, even your younger cousins, and we're all gonna watch the sex scene together. What? No, you feel incredibly uncomfortable. What is this? This is this is
okay. We're reaching heavy here. He reaching heavy. First off, at the end of the day, sex scenes aren't even that extensive in movies. Two, it's a movie. No one gives a shit. You know what I'm saying? No one gives a fuck. And the last movie that really got a lot of, not even controversy, just got a lot of attention, I guess it was Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think that was a big thing between Angelina and Brad Pitt. And then before that was Monster Ball with Billy Bob Thornton and Holly Berry. Let's see what's savage. You know what I'm saying? Amongst others, I should say. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. It's really not that fucking serious. Jesus Christ, Phil. Someone ain't twisted you up in the worst possible way. In the worst possible way. We went from doing reviews of porn movies with our girlfriend to now if you're watching a movie that has a sex scene and apparently it's a fucking family reunion or some shit and everybody's there watching this, it's incredibly awkward. Even though in those type of situations, Phil wouldn't know because he hasn't been around his family in years, so he why he would even throw that scenario out there makes no sense. Most people aren't even watching the movie that serious anyway. And if that scene did pop up, the kids are going to definitely get shuffled off, or they're just going to be like, oh, deal with it. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? That's really not that serious. All right. You know what I'm saying? Reach for the stars, Phil. Reach for the stars.
The intended viewing audience, right? It's creepy. It's weird. It makes you feel fucking weird, right? Like, so now imagine you're with an audience of people all over the world watching this.
Or maybe he just can't tell the difference between a sex scene and a porn scene. Maybe that's what that is. It's possible. It's possible. Phil has a very strange outlook on life.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to do this. I don't want to experience this. This is, if people want to experience that at their own, at home, fine. Not on my stream. That's my attitude towards it. If you don't understand that, I don't know how you couldn't. Like, that's fucking embarrassing shit that a lot of these companies try to wedge in sex scenes into their games that are completely stupid. Alright? So, that's, to me, yeah, it's uncomfortable. It does. It frustrates me, because I'm trying to put out a fun gameplay stream. I'm not trying to broadcast sexual content across the globe, and some games force you to do that shit, you know? That's annoying.
If that's the case, right? If that's the case, hear me out on this. Excuse me. Why didn't he edit that scene from Last of Us 2 out of the YouTube video? He could have just as easily snipped that out. Why didn't he? The live stream is a live stream. You gotta roll with the punches. I mean, he could have pulled a low tier god and just cut his screen off. But you know, semantics. Let's not get too far into that. But in the YouTube video, why didn't he just cut that from the YouTube video? Anybody? Anybody at all? We don't want to broadcast sex scenes to hundreds of people, thousands of people, right? But we didn't. It's still in our YouTube video, though.
But the point here is, people like to make fun of me for that like it's something weird. It's not. That's something completely understandable and natural that someone would be uncomfortable when they're trying to put on a business, and here's this shit that's forced into a game, and I gotta broadcast it, right? I don't want to. But that's just the situation, you know, one of the things of me doing what I do for a living, right? I could do my best to try to engage.
Yet again, he could have muted, not muted, but he could have darkened out the screen for that. He could have done that shit. That wouldn't have been hard. That would not have been difficult. He sat there, had his fucking hands in his hooves and whatnot, and shook his head throughout that whole scene pretty much. He didn't have to let it go on like that. He chose to.
Or try to minimize it by not participating in some of the uncomfortable and very silly over-the-top sexual stuff in games. But that's just what I have to do, right? So, and there you go. Now then they make fun of me for being a hypocrite. So it's like, if I do, in the years, like I said, that I completely embraced that shit and made jokes about it constantly, it was over the top, that's too strong. Too much, Phil. Okay, so now I'll say, okay, we don't want that on my streams. Nope. Now you're proof. No, fuck you. How about this? Fuck you. Toxic. Oh. I don't care. I'll be me. I'm happy with the content I put out today. And if you don't like it, tough shit. I don't give a fuck. Don't watch it. That's all I have to say. You're wasting my time. I'm seriously, because you can't have it one way then the other way. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of trying to dance in front of people and try to appease every single person out there. Like they say, you can only please all of the people some of the time. You can please some of the people all the time, but you can't please everyone all the time. And those people who are constantly complaining no matter what, I will never please them, so why the fuck do I care about them? And the answer is, I don't! I don't give two fucks about them.
Why do you keep ranting about the people that you can't please? That doesn't make any sense. How many detractor rants are out there? A lot. How many rants are there about people that are in the hardcore fan base who will deal with whatever slop that's thrown in front of them regardless of the fact? Womp womp.
Actually, that's incredibly mature, Noxagina 2. I don't want to see a breastfeeding scene in a video game. You know? Just like I don't want to see a breastfeeding in real life either. I have no desire to see a woman breastfeeding a child. At all. Zero.
Oh, I'm not going to show breastfeeding. I don't want to see... Oh, my God. Look at this. I didn't need to see it. Oh...
I don't care about that. I don't want to see it in a video game that's supposed to be a horror video game, right? What the fuck did that have to do with it? Nothing. Zero. It was a completely out of context scene meant for shock value. That's exactly what it was. It had nothing to do with the fucking game. Nothing. It was not nothing to do with the survival horror of the game. It was thrown in there for shock value. That's why I had a problem with the scene. If you don't get that, I don't know what to tell you. You're an idiot.
Oh, here's the toxic bullshit. There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Still has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.
Well, that's an interesting way to capping all that off. Yikes. Yikes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second to straighten up, and we will reconvene for final thoughts, and I will let you guys go with your day. Yay. See you guys in just a second. Wow. Fun times to be had, ladies and gentlemen. Fun times to be had, apparently. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up nice and neat. Okay, first off, thank you very much to Snort Burnell. I very much appreciate it. And let's do our rundown. I guess that's actually probably a good way of calling it the rundown. Whatever. All right, let's do our rundown. So $99 in chargebacks. Yet again, if he had done what he was supposed to do, what he said he did all those months ago, some of that may have been averted. I don't know. You're someone who gets trolled on a daily basis. You would think maybe you should just leave the money there just in case. But greed is massively strong. And who's ever heard anything about self-control? Perfect aim, Burnell. That is what that is. Exploding Gout in Call of Duty. Absolutely hilarious. Too bad for Mommy Burnell's pasta sauce all over the floor, but what are you going to do? And $115 in tips. Oh, it didn't really recoup. It still doesn't actually recoup the $99 he lost in the previous stream, so it's like the previous stream didn't happen. I.e., you fuckwads who gave me all that money on the first stream, well, you guys didn't really do it because I have all these chargebacks. So you guys should probably double up on the second stream. But I'm very appreciative, and contributions aren't mandatory. Okay, next one. X to Doubt meme. Hilarious. Procrastinating. That's all he does. Insane amount of business and advertising and Gout talk. Yet again, just because he had a disposition to it doesn't mean it didn't necessarily happen to him. He put himself in that position because he didn't give a shit. And he's still feeding the Gout by still actively eating things that could basically cause it to reoccur. Fuck him. He deserves what he gets. Ranting about modern trolling. He's a hypocrite because he trolled a lot himself, and he said because he had low self-esteem, because he hated people, he hated himself, so on and so forth. And in a lot of ways, he takes out a lot of his frustration on the people around him. He's no different, to be honest with you. Is some of the trolling excessive against him? Excuse me. Is some of the trolling against him excessive? Absolutely. Does that mean though that he doesn't still hold a responsibility for the nonsense that he did, or that he's in a position that he's better? No, it don't. So he can go ahead and take that shit to divorce court. Let's see here. You're more of a loser than the LOLCOWS. That's debatable, I suppose. But at the end of the day, if you put yourself out there on that level and you completely expose yourself, your life, and the people around you, you're going to expect to have people who are going to want to comment on it, criticize it, troll it, laugh at it, and so on and so forth. even with all the trolling, he's mad, or he's certainly mad that people just have something to say about what he does and it's not in a positive light. And if that's one of the driving forces in your life, that everything you do has to be complimented on, you need the pat on the head for every little thing you do, you need to reevaluate yourself. At the end of the day, people are not gonna fucking like you. You have to deal with it. If people start threatening you and doing other silly shit, then deal with that accordingly. But for people just not liking you and whatnot, get over it. It's just the reality of it all. It is what it is. Salty Destruction in Street Fighter, hilarious. Running away from lobbies with good players. He can't compete anymore. He sees the limitations of where he's at now. Too bad he didn't see his limitations back in the day, but he sees his limitations now and he can't fight against it and whatnot. And one of the things about reality is you have to accept your reality, and he can't do it. At the end of the day, he still thinks at the end of the day, he's still living in his head when he's on his up and up, and he could still be champion at Evo, or he can still, dominate Justin and Daigo and all these people, Takedo and all that. His name isn't mentioned with those people. It never will be. He wasn't meant for that, so it didn't happen. I'm sorry. If he was willing to work harder for it, then maybe. But you sitting there putting yourself in fucking debt to go to every fucking tournament just to lose shows that you're a fucking tard. Not that you're a competitor, and certainly not it doesn't show that you had the qualifications to be a champion. I'm sorry. Hashtag I'm not sorry, don't at me. Last one, $200 tip goal is what it is. Someone had to pay for that Papa John's and his gout. Not having a job and playing video games all day is a bad idea. I think we beg to differ. And not a hypocrite. He's one of the largest hypocrites around. And there's plenty of shit you can call him out on, and he knows it. End of story. He may not like it, but it's the case. It's the truth. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you running around bashing people for every little fucking thing, especially given the fact that you could eventually be put into that situation later on down the line, just go ahead and move. You don't need to comment on every little fucking thing. And this is coming from somebody who comments on every little fucking thing this dumbass does. Well, maybe not every little thing because there's so much, but you know what I mean. At the end of the day, you don't sit there and burn bridges that don't need to be burned. He does that on purpose because he thinks it makes him feel special shitting on other people. It's just the reality of it. So it's ironic that it happens to him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I will see you guys for the next video, whenever that may be. Hopefully, the next broadcast. Whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Take care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. This is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Networking Productions. For Snortbucks Coffee and the Snort Report, I've been your host /anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. Later.